certain fate. And we'll make our final stand. Lost in the dark, we've come so far. Another step to rid the pain. Go and be counted till your last day. 'Cause only nightmares break their flames. So stand upon these fallen lands and following our Father's plans. Yeah, until the end we will remain, and we'll hold on until the last break their flames. So stand upon these fallen lands and following our Father's plans. Yeah, until the end we will remain, and we'll hold on until our last
Welcome back to Runeterra Academy. I am PBS, your play-by-play caster for tonight's Best of 5 series. I am honored to be joined by the marvelous TDS. How's it going, my man?
Excited. We have had a Saturday. Whoa, I'm about to go to the next day. But yeah, Saturday full of League of Legends with a lot of games already. And we close it up with Runeterra. I'm really excited to see what happens today, especially because Grand Finals. It's the thing that everyone has played to this whole split. And we have two teams that one probably people expected, CB Visa, and the other one that it's, I think, completely unexpected to a lot of people. But when you actually watch them play, they deserve to be here.
Yeah, we were talking about before the series started. You were talking very highly of Clown Gaming Gotham, saying
Yep.
they have the potential to even 3-0 this series. Is there
Yep.
any key strategies that you think CGG would use in this series?
So more than key strategies, I just think they overall play well. Like I feel like they have a really nice way of playing with their jungler to just try and put themselves into great spots. And the way that they control the map, a lot of the times it just feels really nice. Now, also I know that CBBSI is the defending champions and one of the better teams, obviously, but they also struggled last week and they were forced to come back in reverse sweep, which even though goes to the credit of their mental fortitude, it's still something that you cannot utilize as a strategy to try and play these finals. And I think CGG really commandedly won last week. So I'm really sure that they are able that if they get a lead in the series, they can try and utilize that to just close it out and to close it out. And I feel like, and that's why I feel like they are a team that maybe people are not expecting, but they can 100% 3-0 if they get the chance to do it.
Yeah, and both of these teams coming from the Group 2, the number 1 and number 2 seed. So I think most people would favor CV Ibiza. I think most people in their
Yep.
predictions had them winning playoffs as well as TA
Yep.
Revolution, but obviously they got knocked out fairly early. Um, we will be starting draft here very shortly, actually right now, as we hop into the game one
Yes.
draft.
Yeah, and I think it's important that they opted into red side because I think it was one of the sides that CV Visa showed a little bit more power on last week against CA. I think that they obviously need to get with some of their picks, try and get rolling, but they showcased really interesting strategies in their reverse sweep, and they also utilized red side really nicely. So I think that that's one advantage that I can see CV Visa trying to use to just push through in the playoffs, in these finals. I mean. Yep. Okay. I quite like the Silas ban away, and I think that it's one of those champions that if you really don't have a plan against, and you're certain that the enemy team can make 100% use of it, you shouldn't try to play against it. Because even though I think that it's not super broken, it is a champion that brings problems, and I can see why it gets banned away. I want to talk a little bit about just some of the certain bans that we see, particularly obviously the Cassiopeia, one of the mainstay bans against CV Visa. I'm pretty sure they have gotten the chance to play it once or twice in the whole split. So it's something that we're bound to see a lot in the series. And also, I'm particularly curious about the Senna ban because I think that taking it away opens up so many strategies, or being able to play it opens up so many strategies. And I would like to see what CV Visa can do with the champion, but we're not getting the chance. Ooh, the Wukong. First pick. It's surprising to say the least, but interesting as well. Yeah, I would love that. I feel Xin Zhao potentially a little bit like if I were to say something out of the top lane into the jungle, I would say potentially like the Mordekaiser as well. Not in the sense that you can go over walls or the like, but his presence in the jungle, it's not that common, but there's certain ways to make it valuable. And now with the fact that he can even jump walls, like his value actually kind of goes up thanks to the fact that he doesn't need to go around the wall, and his teamfight prowess is still equal or better than most other champions. So I think that he can actually find value and he can find really good matchups inside of the jungle if he is ever present there. Now we still don't know if could potentially be a top lane or a jungle, but I'm really excited to see what the Wukong pick ends up going for. The Saya Alistair, a little bit more safe, a little bit more common, a little bit more known for in the split, especially in the meta right now. Like Saya is one of those top tier AD carries because of her safety, so it doesn't surprise me a lot. I'm more surprised about the Alistar because I think that it's not a bad support, but it's a support that suffers quite heavily in the first levels of the lane, and even before level 6, he can struggle quite a bit. So I feel like it's a pick that you have to have 100% confidence in, and if you're able to execute on it, you can find a lot of value. But if not, it can be really, really risky. Yep. The Zac pick, it's one that I really like that there's attention towards this because I think that Zac is not a typically picked champion, and I really, really think that it should get more focus just because of how it makes the game adapt to the champion much more so than the champion adapting to the game. And I feel like that's an advantage that not a lot of champions has. So I'm really excited to see how the Zac performs. And I think that if it ends up going into a Wukong jungle, I think that the Wukong can actually win that matchup. If it ends up being the Wukong jungle. Oh yeah, to get the double stun. Yeah. But we still don't know if what CB Visa will pick in the top lane, right? Like you were pointing out, the Malphite now being picked here means that it's potentially going to be a jungle Wukong almost 100%. Thanks to the fact that the Malphite against the Wukong, I think that it's not a bad matchup for the Malphite. I actually think the Malphite runs that quite well. So it's something that I expect to see in the top lane. And yeah, the Mordekaiser getting picked here would make 100% sense. That one of the more typical champions to send towards the Malphite, and potentially one of the better matchups. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Mordekaiser just because in the whole context of the game, like it can be really messed up if he doesn't find value in the top lane and then he kind of falls off quite a bit. But if you do find value, his R's to deny the Malphite in teamfights is actually quite great. So you can take so much value out of CVV's composition already thanks to this Mordekaiser as well. So it can be a double-edged sword, but if it works, it's great. If not, it will look quite awful. And ooh, the Galio. I like that they are opting into the combo to follow up with the Wukong. Well, there's the rest. Yeah, I feel like they are just setting up for always fighting objectives, not necessarily taking objectives, but fighting them. So forcing the team fight to later on be able to take the objective because, like you're pointing out, I feel like they may lack a bit of consistent objective damage to take the objectives before the opponent just opts into a fight or anything like that. Now CGG does lack that a bit as well, but it's better than CBI. So I feel like if CBB's composition is 100% set up to try and take those team fights around the mid game mark, 15 post 15 minutes. Try and make the most out of their composition because Diana, Malphite, and Zac and Alistar just screams to me that you want to kill someone as soon as possible.
Yeah. So I would not be surprised if Zac goes Iceborne into Demonic Embrace. It's a little bit more damage heavy, especially since they need the damage from their tanks. Malphite does a little bit in lane with Comet, but obviously not a super huge damage threat, especially to Mordekaiser. Yeah. I'm not a huge Mordekaiser fan. I don't think it's really has a place in competitive play. Since you're yeah.
It's just one of those picks that certainly feel like unless you're really, really, really proficient and you know the ins and outs of this kind of matchup, then you shouldn't be playing it, in my opinion. Like I can find the value out of the Mordekaiser in the sense that if he presses R, he can stop completely two of these champions from actually finding any value in teamfights, and I think that that's actually huge. The problem is that that also depends on what happens before the team fighting phase. And if he's down in lane phase without actually getting any kills or finding any value, then you're just playing with a huge maze top laner and nothing else. And that's kind of the worry that Mordekaiser always brings because he's not a top laner that can deal well with losing. And it's not like he has a lot of avenues to play around later on, like, for example, like a Jax Wood or a Camille or a Fiora later on in the game. I think that Mordekaiser really depends on those starts because if the starts are bad, cannot make it better later on in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't think Wukong would be building Black Cleaver this game. Obviously, they're gonna have a Zac Malphite, which is a lot of armor to tank, as well as Alistar. So, not too much tank shredding. I mean, Jinx is gonna have to go Kraken. If they don't go Kraken, it's kind of just over.
I think they even need Kraken second item LDR. I think it's a boss this game.
If Jinx doesn't go cut down, I'm gonna be very sad.
Like she just needs to be able to deal enough damage in teamfights that so enough damage so that she can carry, but she's not forced into immediately destroying someone. So just enough damage that the fights last long enough that she can deal enough. I don't know if I'm expressing that well enough, but she needs to be the consistent damage leader essentially.
Yeah,
And she needs to be able to kill those tanks, not fast, but kill them. and that needs to be. And that's why the Kraken's Lair and the LDR to me are essential to this game. Like first two items, 100%.
Yeah, it is a little worrying for Jinx, especially when you have the triple dive, quadra dive threat of
Yeah.
Diana, Alistar, Zac, Malphite. Jinx not really the most mobile ADC unless she gets excited, of course. But even then, I mean, Malphite can just Q and steal all of that move speed.
Yep.
Yeah,
The top game for the Jinx if she ever gets dove, which should happen in all reality.
yeah. With that, we are going to send it to a short intermission, and when we come back, Game 1 versus Clown Gaming Gotham and CB Ibiza. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Talking heads are singing harmonies, overloading me, confusing. All upon opinions, slave to your convictions, domain over me, consuming. It's a crime, the cold distorted world you read for yourself. Stuck in time, you're frozen in a false belief of yourself. 'Cause I'm through. I'm done telling people have fun. Don't believe what they
Sophomore Grand Finals. I am PBS, joined once again by TDS. Game 1 of this series. What are you looking for in this matchup to tilt the tables in favor of one of these teams?
I want to see how the junglers interact because we're starting the series with a Wukong jungle against a Zac jungle, not the most meta picks in my opinion. So I want to see how they perform, what they are able to achieve, and how many advantages can they get for their teams. Because if they can snowball one lane from either side, like that can impact a lot of what comes into the mid game team fighting, which I think for both teams is going to be really really important.
Yeah, both of these teams mainly focused around mid game fighting. Diana
Yep.
obviously does fall off eventually. Does need time to get to level 6 as well. I think Galio will be able to neutralize the lane and try to even maybe bully the Diana out. I think Galio does have a lot of pressure level 3 at least.
Yeah, he's not stopped by the Diana in the sense that she can pressure him in any way, especially because of the shield, the AP shield that comes later on. It's going to be really, really important for the Galio, and that allows for more pressure. And like you can see, like just level 1 alone, you can get so much done with that AoE out attack into the Q. So it's actually quite difficult for the Diana to get an advantage early on against the Galio. And I think that as soon as level 2 is hit, it's even harder for that. So I want to see how much the Galio can just push the lane and try and move around. Because Galio is one of those champions that actually, before level 6, can get some roams down and allow or help for the jungle to do anything he wants.
Yeah, typically we would see a Predator Galio if they were looking for a more aggressive roaming style, but it is the Aftershock this game, which is a little more team fight focused as well as trading. I'm looking forward to maybe seeing an early Zac gank from an awkward angle. I think that Elastic Slingshot is insane. All right, here comes good trading. Here comes the feather pullback from the Love Hitman, and Nautilus taking quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah, that's something that you don't expect or don't want at all if you're the Jinx Nautilus bot.
Oh, another root. Flash forward by Waka.
Oh,
no name is ignited, has to flash away. Heal comes forward. The Love Hitman finds the final auto. That is first blood. The Love Hitman will be limping away. Can't quite kill the Nautilus. The pullback. And CB Waka will pull that kill credit for CB Ibiza.
Yeah, and the exhaust coming in huge for the Saya, but you have to blame everything on No Name at the start of that, because for some reason he's opting into an auto attack that matters absolutely nothing. Like you just wait for the wave to come to you, and that's very low. Kaiden.
He should be fine. Walk away.
Kaiden taking a lot of damage, but he's fine. He's still there's no ignite on the Galio, so there shouldn't be any kill pressure, like any kill potential like we just saw. But Wukong is here.
Yep, Batman looking for a gank in the mid lane, will not find it. Top lane, big wave being pushed under for Potato Man 669. 669, sorry.
Yeah,
a few more sixes.
It's important that he didn't get punished there, because with the huge wave, there was a little bit of a chance for a dive, and pre-level 6, it's the most vulnerable that the Mordekaiser can be in terms of diving, but nothing ends up happening. So just the lead out of the bot lane, and serrated Dirk into tier already for the Zayed so much. I'm not sure about this fight.
Man's getting fairly low, has the shield available, I believe. Probably going to have to cash that in for health eventually. Here comes the first Zac attempted gank onto Diamonus. Gets the taunt off early before it lands the striking blow. Will hit Diamondus. Batman will kill Chitin, but will die under the turret. Batman looking for a trade. They both have red buff, and that extended Wukong Q will find the extra auto attack, but it will be limped away by the squishy Zac. Another pullback. Love Hitman looking for another kill. Subtato has to flash away. No Name gets stunned up by Waka, and will walk out of that scot-free.
They are trying so hard in the bot lane to try and push, but the problem is that at this point, there's no chance for No Name or Subtato to just be able to out-trade the Saya and the Alistar. The Alistar has been doing such a good job at threading the needle and just making the better decisions towards the trades. And it's been seen that No Name cannot do anything in this wave. Also, they have been eating a lot of the feathers, the feather into pullback combo, which just ends up affecting the CSing pattern out of the Jinx, and Jinx cannot do anything. She's getting the Knight from so many minions, and that huge wave in the bot lane, it's something that cannot be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, this Scorch Aerie Xayah is putting in the work. Not a whole lot Jinx can do. This is what I talked about in the draft, is that Xayah can outrange this Jinx, especially early on. those Jinx nerfs to her rocket form, the range was reduced by, I believe, 25, which is just enough to put her out of the range of Xayah. Pretty good
Yeah, those
matchups.
were not good for the Jinx, and I actually dislike the fact that they attacked that part of the Jinx. Oh wait, Diamandis. Okay, he's fine. But yeah, I actually disliked so much those nerfs towards the Jinx because Jinx wasn't strong because of that. She was strong because of the lethal tempo, and that is still left there. So that's the main difference maker and why Jinx is still there. So attacking that part of her kit, I'm actually not. I wasn't actually happy. I just think that she just attacked something to try and make an attempt, but failed.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx has been very high prio for pretty much the entire season, especially in RA.
Yep.
Probably one of the most picked champions, I believe. I'd have to pull that up. But
I would risk to say that yes. Like from almost all the games that I've seen, I think that she has been in more than half of them, if not all of them, picked or banned. So yeah, her priority is super high in RA alone.
so looking at the gold graph here, No Name Jinx is at the bottom of the chart, while the Love Hitman's at the very top, almost 1,000 gold up. All in from Chitin. Here comes the ult. Diamandis has to run
Malphite's here as
flash
well.
forward by Kobita with the Unstoppable Force and will take the kill. Moving into the top lane, which is not bad, distributing the well.
Yeah, I actually like the fact that he moved around because there's no chance that he gets a lot done in top lane. There's a huge risk for Potato Mato, so it's not like he can actually get a lot done up there. So the fact that he moves around towards mid lane and gets a kill, I think it's super huge for the side of CBB's. Playing really nicely, rotating really nicely, and achieving a lot. Jinx is suffering so heavily. She couldn't even like she's 20 CS behind of the Saya.
Yeah, and this early tier also going to be very nice for Xayah. Stacking it up early. Already has 100 stacks, so early man immune probably on the table.
And that's one of the most important parts of the Saya build. Like, out of the poke Saya build. Because she can do so much with that. They're going to be an ulti.
A little bit of trading here in the top lane. I don't think
God.
Potato Man will all in this. This Kavita can just run away.
I wouldn't be against the ulti there, but there's still some damage that you're lacking, so I can respect the fact that you're just threading the needle a little bit on the top lane, and then you actually commit for the fight. Like, Malphite still doesn't have flash or ulti, so you still have windows of opportunity to opt into that fight.
Yeah, I mean, Singular Bread looking for potentially a lane gank. Probably will just give up as they are pushed fully under the turret. Not the greatest coordination on the wave, but
Still holding the wave to a certain degree, so it's still really nice that it's not pushed towards the side of CB.
yeah, I think, I mean, CBB is kind of just perma shoving down here. I think Xayah probably wants to recall.
I think she has enough for the go for the Eclipse, so I think that may be her backing window. I think Eclipse is 1,900.
Yeah, that looks right. Should be maybe one wave away. I think it might be 1,800. I'm not sure. But we'll stay for the wave nonetheless. Here comes a very off-angled gank from Singular Bread. And it will also secure the kill of Potato Man.
Oh, and
Meanwhile,
another
in the
one.
bot lane, the Love Hitman will take down No Name. And it looks like Subtato will be also taken down. May take a little bit. Chitin in the mid lane also
Did he get a
taken
kill
down
here?
by Batman. So fighting all over the board. Is this freshman class? Who knows?
Yeah, the problem is that in this freshman series, certainly the fact is that the CB Visa is getting those kills. They are getting so much value out of the kills that they are getting. Like, look at that. It's 3,000 gold lead just by the kills alone. But they are also pushing into the turret, so they are missing the side of Clown Gaming is losing a lot of gold in the minions. Then they cannot respond correctly in the other side because even though the Wukong finds a kill in the mid lane, like, you're losing two sides of the map anyway. So it's not like you're actually finding a lot of value with the place that you're opting into. And with just one gang, Singular Bread already making much more of an impact in the game. And I feel like the side of Clown Gaming needs to commit to somewhere and just make ganks happen. Ideally, I think it has to be top lane.
Here comes
So
Subtato looking for the gank on Chitin. The dredge line will connect. Puts the ignite down. Chitin down. Gets taken down by Diamandis. And CB Waka not quite in time to peel for his mid laner.
Yeah, and the only good thing that you get out of that is the fact that Diamandis actually use a flash preemptively, maybe to try and secure the kill because they weren't sure if they get enough damage. But That's a blown summoner without actually needing to. Anyway, they do get the kill onto Kaiden, which is important to try and get some gold back, but that's not one of the points that you actually get farther ahead. Like, putting your Galio so far ahead, it's not that necessary in
Yeah.
comparison to getting your Mordekaiser ahead or allowing for your Jinx to get a little bit back. Because right now, the difference between the Jinx and the Saya is super high.
Yeah, so typically with Galio builds, you do kind of get stuck at two items, usually the Rocket Belt and then Zanya's, and then you're kind of stuck at a third item.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit too long to buy compared to a lot of these other mid laners with cheaper
Yeah.
items. Of
Uh,
course.
it's because you really don't need to give much more gold influx to the Galio. Galio will do almost the same with 2 items as if he would do with 4 items, essentially. So it's not like you need to give him more influx of gold, and that's why sometimes he kind of gets stuck at that point because it's better to give it to someone else. And I think that in this game, if he can find better value on someone else, I think that that would be better as well.
And I definitely think just ignoring Dragon at this point is like not a terrible strategy. I don't think
Yeah.
it's almost 12 minutes in the game and not a single one has been taken. So I think Soul is so far away that it's not really going to matter. Wukong
Yeah,
does
it's not
have his
like you
passive
actually need it.
armor prem, so which is or armor shred, sorry, which is fairly nice against CBVisa.
Yeah, and I don't really know why Mordekaiser is moving down. I think that you should play for getting those plates in top lane. Get, let this, yeah, like he's now screwing. He is screwed up a little bit going down, so he's actually going to be a little bit late on the play. But this is the better play actually, because you're getting much more gold than just the dragon itself. Like the dragon won't give you enough gold. You're getting the first dragon, great, but the gold that you can get out of that play would have been much better if the Mordekaiser was a little bit more ready to push the lane. So they are a little bit behind the plate from the side of Cloud Gaming. I think they still get one played, so it's not the worst of things, but it could have been a better trade overall for the side of Cloud Gaming.
Oh, not even a
Will
play.
engage?
Subtato will find a hook onto the Love Hitman. Gets flashed away. Still gets the feather pull back. Love Hitman will get Wukong ulted as
Oh,
well.
the
Subtato
exhaust.
getting very low. Will just be taken down. So Zai will trade a kill back. Waka has to run away with his ultimate. But will Diamandis have the
I
move
think
speed?
Diamandis can do it.
Yeah, there is the Justice charge. Here comes Singular Bread into the backline as well. Chitin's here. Could they wombo combo this? Chitin with a
no
3-man
need.
ult. Here comes the big wombo team fight. Diamandis will be taken down. Singular Bread still alive off of the little blobs. Batman doing his best to find the kill.
Oh,
but
the fruit.
will get slashed and hacked down. And Zach will find the kill, but still a kill nonetheless.
Yeah, and Clown Gaming ends up committing way too hard for a piece of mid. It doesn't turn into gold at all. It turns into a little bit of gold, but not in the actual way that you wanted it to be. They get a really nice play. I really like the commitment towards Saya because they forced out everything and they still got the kill. You traded Justin Nautilus, so I think that overall it's actually a good trade. But they committed way too hard in staying way too long for that play, and at the end they pay the price, giving away 2 kills to the Diana, which Diana was 0-3, I think, or 1-3. Giving the kills to the Diana was so bad.
Ooh, here
And
comes a Waka gank.
yeah, they do have the ultimate from Potato Mato, so
Yeah, a little scary. Probably smart of the cow to run away there.
could have been worse. Yeah.
Meanwhile, bot lane still going very splendid here for Zaya. 122 to 85, so almost a 40 CS lead at 14 minutes, which is a real stat booster if you're looking to play for the stats chart, of course.
She's even
Oh,
too
look at
little,
that
so no
damage.
name.
Heal forced out. Here comes Singular Bread, though. Hitman will be taking low. Nautilus doing a lot of damage. Mega Death Rocket does just get blocked out by Zac. Waka into the backline, flash forward, only gets Subtato. Love Hitman looking for the feather pulls. Will not land anything, but the teleport also expended here from Diamandis.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the fact that Kaiden was already roaming, so they committed the teleport scared of the fact that maybe Diana does commit to the play. And Diana would have killed the Jinx, by the way. So I think that the preemptive teleport ends up being important to pull off. And even though they don't get the kill on Saya, they do buy themselves a little bit of time because they committed a lot of people to protect the Saya and try and get something back. And even though it doesn't turn into immediate gold for the side of Clown Gaming, allowing for this Jinx to farm a little bit more, getting another level into her hands, and also allowing for her to get closer to the Gale Force or Kraken Slayer, whichever she ends up opting into, it's going to be really important for Cloud Gaming, especially for any potential fights that will be coming up. I don't think for the next Dragon. I hope not for the next Dragon, but certainly for any potential fights coming up.
Yeah, mythic items being finished all around the board. Malphite opting towards the Force of Nature first, which is, I mean, it's decent versus Mordekaiser, but here comes the gank into the mid lane. Titan will get knocked up. Has to
Flashing
away.
immediately.
Pulls him back into the turret though. Double dash forward. Waka gets interrupted, but Singular Bread with the two-player knockup. Titan will find a kill onto Batman, and bounce Singular Bread will find a kill. Gets it over to Titan, but 2 kills nonetheless. So CB Ibiza taking a nice chokehold on the game so far.
Yeah, and I honestly don't know what the decision or the ideas behind the decisions from the side of Clown Gaming is. Because they see the fact that the Diana flashed away. They know that there are certain members that are still not shown in the map. You get value out of blowing the flash of the Diana. You don't need to commit so hard. But they overcommit for the play and now Potato Tomato. Okay, no, I thought they were going to engage on him actually, so nothing bad happening to him. But yeah, like they commit for plays that they don't need to actually commit to, and we're seeing how they end up getting really heavily punished by the side of CB Ibiza. Not only in this play in the mid lane, but remember the play in the bot lane where they committed so hard for Waka, and at the end it's a triple kill for the side of CB Ibiza and getting 2 shutdowns, one for the Diana and one for the Sack.
Yeah, and 3-0-4 on Zac. Could have built a Dark Seal this game, to be honest, but
True.
doesn't look like that will be the case. Next Dragon
I think
spawning
they're
in
fine
10
with
seconds.
the fact that a tank is already so strong, so I think that they are happy with that.
Yep. And next Dragon here up in 5 seconds. CSCB Ibiza wants to contest for it. I don't know if stacking dragons is the most valuable thing this game, unless you're hoping the game goes to about 35 minutes. Zac looking for the elastic slingshot, will not take it. They have the Herald, so they could place it down in a side lane and try to use that as a distraction for the dragon. It's like a little death rush coming out here from the side of CVI.
I like that they are setting up for a potential just immediate engage to try and kill someone as soon as possible, even though Kaiden just moved around. I really don't know if if the side of Clown Gaming should try and go for the dragon here. They are trying to posture. The engage into Waka, I think you shouldn't fight this at all.
Oh, here comes the knock-up here from Singular Bread. So no Aftershock for quite a bit. That could actually be quite meaningful.
The problem is that the dragon is already started. I'm not sure if they can actually fight this. The problem is that they brought Potato Tomato once again here for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Mordekaiser is doing here. Pretty sure you just want plates. It will be a Hex Tech Soul.
Are they going to dive him?
They might. I mean, I don't think it's too smart to dive a Mordekaiser. I think he's just going to ult somebody unless they CC lock him to death, which is the case. Here comes Diamandus, but he will just get knocked up. Kavita tanking that turret fully. But they will be forced to walk away. Okay, a soul kill in the bot lane as well.
Well, this game is getting way too out of control for the side of Clown Gaming. They are messing up combos that they shouldn't mess up at all. And the fact that the Saya can 2v1 his.
Yeah,
I think Saya can win this.
Zaya definitely wins this.
Unless...
okay. Forces the flash away from the Nautilus, but I mean, you'll take the flash, no problem.
Yeah, 100%. Like she didn't commit the double summoners as well, so it's actually not that positive for the Nautilus until he dies here.
Yeah, Nautilus will get taken down by 3 members. Unfortunately, Alistar did not get a assist for that kill, but Zai will also get a solo gold tower in the bot lane.
Yeah, they are not getting it's the silver lining is the fact that the Alistar doesn't get the extra gold, but all in all, it's just disaster after disaster for the side of Clown Gaming. Like, they are not getting anything out of this game. The grasp is in the complete favor of CB Ibiza. They are choking the life out of Clown Gaming, and Clown Gaming simply doesn't have any good ideas to actually play the game. Like, they are committing players to places that they don't need to be at all. They are not taking advantage of the fact that there's a top lane that will give you bounty if you just commit for that play, and they're not opting into that. So they just simply feel like headless chickens walking around the map without actually getting any value on it. I feel like we just need 2 more fights for CB Ibiza to just get the game at this point. Like, it feels like it's going to be the case with how the game is going so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far CB Ibiza with a about 5.8k gold lead. Here comes the Feathers Fly from the left hit man. Batman will get taken out quite low. Potato Man will find the flash ultimate. onto the Zaya with no ult. Gets the big 550 shutdown, but will get taken down by 4 members here of CB Ibiza. They are entirely moving here as a squad. Flash forward by Kavita.
Great
Double
ulti.
Unbreakable's force. No Name has to flash away, but will probably get chased down here by Alistar and Malphite. Here
Oh
comes
no,
the chompers,
Nate,
but it
no.
will not matter.
That was enough. Just about hitting both players. The ulti from Kobita, really nice. On the edge, hitting the Jinx as well. And getting the advantage is like, great, you killed the Saya. That's amazing. You get a gold back, but the actual body of the play just simply is completely unfruitful for the side of Clown Gaming. Like, yes, you kill the Saya. You lose 3 members for that. Another mid lane turret. You will lose position in the Baron. And I think that they potentially could just set up a death push there. Now, obviously, they do have low health, so maybe it's not the case, but they can collapse onto the Galio, actually.
Yeah, Galio quite far
to
up
back.
in this lane. Let's see if Zai can stop the recall. Looks like it
Yeah,
will
he's dead.
happen. So yeah, Diamandis will get feather pulled back. And I think it's called Blade Collar, no?
Bye-bye. I think it's Blade Cool. Yeah, Blade Color.
Blade Collar, yeah, okay. I'll stop calling it feather pull.
It's close enough.
Yeah, so Zaya up and almost another 50 CS. Sorry. Yeah. 60 CS lead for the Zaya in this bot lane over the Jinx. Now cresting a 9.9k gold lead as well. Or 8.9k gold lead. Math's hard.
Yeah, this is way too much of a lead for the side of CVBs, and I just, like, luckily for the side of Clown Gaming, they do have champions that if you give them gold, will be able to outperform their counterparts in late stage teamfights, particularly the Jinx. The problem is that I'm not sure if they're going to get that gold. Being 8k behind is a really huge difference. And this is the one, probably one of the strongest points for almost all the champions from the side of CB.
Yeah, I mean, Diana didn't start the game out too well, but now has a Medjai's in the inventory with 10 pages in the book.
Yeah.
Zach also finishing the Warmog's armor. So a lot of extra health and healing if the fights last long enough, which I don't know if they will, so I don't know if that's the greatest value item, but a big power spike nonetheless.
Yeah, like getting that much amount of AP so soon, it's going to be super nice. And I'm actually just waiting to see if they want to wait for the Saya to get the, what's it called, the wait.
Batman getting
Oh,
blown up
Batman.
by Kavita. And Titan will be legendary. Flashes away from the Mordekaiser ult, so we'll get out. Waka hex flashing over the wall. I think Potato Man may be in some danger here.
I
Waka
think
will
he's
go
there.
in, get the knockup, but
Unless-
will phase
Oh, they
rush
didn't commit,
away.
actually.
Yeah, there's the third dragon. Subtato probably going to be sacrificed here. Gets slammed into the wrappers. Malphite all even
Is
committed.
that needed?
I don't think that was needed, but Diamandis will get the top lane tower. Probably going to trade their life for it. I don't think there's any getting away from Chitin, especially with the minions. Oh, okay, maybe they're just going to let him go. But
So, yeah, he escapes. A flash was needed, but he escapes. So, that's still good enough. But this does mean potentially Baron. Batman is far away, and Super Mega Death Rocket is down. I don't think there should be a chance for them to stop this Baron. And yep, I was thinking that maybe they were going to wait for the third item of the Saya to finally commit for the Baron. But no, they just needed to get that one pick into the Wukong, then the Dragon, and then just move towards the top lane and get the Baron. Like, simply there's no play that I can see Clown Gaming make apart from committing to an all-in pick and then that evolving into a couple more picks to then get a lot of gold influx back, because they are simply so far behind in almost any play. Like, the only saving grace, it's the fact that the Galio has been able to collect 2 bounties, and one of those bounties was one of the tier 2 outer turrets in the side lanes, because those are the ones that give more gold right now. So that's the only saving grace.
yeah, I mean, looking a little scary here for the side of Clown Gaming Gotham. Potato Man going to be taking a small little trade here against Kavita.
He's barely winning.
Yeah, that Force of Nature is very effective against this Mordekaiser, I'd say.
Yep.
So this Baron buff will run out about 1 minute before the dragon spawns, so they will have a nice time to reset. Batman getting insta-blown up. Gallival being committed. Batman will be taken down by the left hitman. Big blade collar by the left hitman. Almost will taking him down.
Diana isn't dead.
Malphite will secure the kill onto Galio. So that is 3 members down here for the side of Clown Gaming Gotham. They have Baron. I think this may be an end angle.
Malphite, yeah, every member is here. They have the Malphite ult to steal. And they also have, well, Diana is actually quite low, but I think that they have enough to be able to get the game.
Yeah,
but they cannot get
over.
over.
Jinx will get excited, I believe. We'll have to flash back into the Nexus, though. Here comes Mordekaiser spinning away. Will not get any kills into the backline. Waka freezing this tower. Love Hitman is taken fairly low by the zap.
Oh, the hook.
Waka believes tanking tower as well. So a shutdown going onto the Jinx. Got the Xayah shutdown. I believe that was 550, so probably the max bounty. So a little bit of gold back into the pockets of CGG, but one Nexus tower left standing. A little scary.
Yeah, it's still a rocky situation for Clown Gaming. They still need to come back from 9,000 gold lead. Luckily, the Jinx gets her second item, so maybe she can try and look for finally being able to kill some of these champions, but it's still too hard for her. Like, she needs to be careful about the Malphite, about the sack. She doesn't have flash or heal, and she needs perfect positioning to be able to teamfight. Like, unless they are able to kill the Xayah as soon as possible, which is going to be super hard considering the fact that she already has a QSS as well. This is still looking really, really hard. It's not impossible, but it's really, really hard to pull off.
Yeah, thankfully for CGG, Xayah will not have either summoner spell available for this dragon fight. Will be the sole chance here for CVB, so helping to close out the game. Hextech will be a little bit nuts on Xayah with the Q Blade Collar. Probably just gonna one-shot most champions. What do you think CGG can do here to maybe pull out a miracle team fight?
Feels really hard to call if I'm honest. Like, I want to think that there's a lot. Well, if they get this kill,
Okay, Brett is
maybe.
like into the backline very deep. He will expend the
Looking
Let's
for ult to
Bounce
go.
though. So neither jungler having their ult available for this dragon fight in 30 seconds.
It's
Maybe-
worse for Batman.
Yeah, I think Zac is still more impactful than the Wukong, especially without the ults.
Yeah. Like, Wukong, it's 100% ult dependent to be able to find value in the team. So without an ulti, Kaiden,
Diamanda's a little bit caught out. We'll actually blow the ultimate, so that is another ult down here for the side of CVB. So Waka will find Subtato.
Subtato, no.
Will it be a solo ult by the Malphite? Does not look like it. They will back off for this Hextech Soul. Let's see if
Can
Batman
they
can
fight
maybe
this?
make it over the wall.
So he can now, but I'm not sure if he will. They don't even have a lot of vision, so it's
Yeah.
actually really hard to pull off.
Hitman doing quite a bit of damage, chunking out most of the members of CGG. Malphite in the front line, the soul
Oh,
is
they get it.
claimed.
Oh, Wukong.
Here comes the Blade Caller from the Xayah. Subtato a little bit too far forward.
Subtato,
Will get knocked
what?
out Instant. Kobito will find a killing spree Malphite onto Subtato. And the rest of CGG will have to run away and retreat back into their Nexus. Batman a little bit out
Oh,
of position. Might get
Batman.
found by Chitin. Hops over the wall.
Oh,
Insta-dead, ignite down, and death.
You either flash away immediately, or you just accept your death without using the ultimate. Because now you're losing the cooldown of the ultimate for the Baron buff that will be up soon. I'm not sure if he even gets there, but still, it's a cooldown that you really don't want to misuse at all. And then you're also they didn't even get the dragon. I was expecting to see the Wukong being committed a little bit more towards dragon, even flashing it or just going over the wall a lot earlier. But they kind of got distracted before the dragon with a lot of the members from the side of Ibiza not actually committing for the objective, and at the end don't get anything at all. This is, like, before it was tough, it's getting even tougher. I'm really trying to think of ways for them to win, but one Nexus turret, Soul on the side of Ibiza, and Baron about to be in their side as well. Oh,
Here
Potato Tomato.
comes Singular Bread onto Potato Man 6369. Gallival going on top.
Oh.
Actually being taken down very early in this fight. Waka being pulled back. Singular Bread way too fat. Chitin with the
Oh,
fat.
Diana.
Into the back line.
That's
Here
it.
comes the Xayah all layered on top. and a triple kill for Chitin in the mid lane with that death cap and 25 stack Diana. And that will be game one going over to CB Ibiza.
So there was a shot in that particular fight, a really small shot to be able to pull it off. But like we previously said, Jinx needed to be perfectly positioned, and she couldn't, and she wasn't perfectly positioned. She was actually badly positioned
Inhibitor
because she
respawn.
got completely hit by the Diana. Yeah, but it's fine. Like there's no shot that they lose. Yeah, that it's simply not enough. The death timers are way too long. It took them 30 minutes. I think that they could have pulled off the game a little bit earlier, if not for the fact that they kind of dived the fountain before they even completed the game. But it doesn't matter. Like they were so far ahead. They had complete control over the game. They had a grasp of the necks of Clown Gaming, and they never let go out of that.
Yeah, a very dominant game one here by CB Ibiza. Maybe to be expected by most people.
I was expecting a little bit more out of Clown, in all honesty. Like, I know what CB is capable of, but I was thinking Clown could have shown a little bit better in this game, and really disappointing performance, particularly by the bot lane. I think that they really underperformed, didn't play to the level that I expected, and that actually was one of the main reasons why this game went so badly for Clown Gaming. The bot lane dying so early on.
Yeah, I think the Jinx early pick is a little bit less viable, especially when it's paired with the Nautilus. I think Thresh maybe would have been a better pick. Needs a little bit more peel than a Nautilus provides, which is crazy to say, but
I feel it's fine if you do have something else, right? Like I think that if they had something else in top lane, not the Mordekaiser, in this situation of the game, it wouldn't have been bad. But because it's Nautilus, it's Wukong, and then you have a Mordekaiser that really is in between what he wants to do, feels really, really bad. I think that they could have played Peel with another champion in the top lane. Maybe even just go on Enchanter top lane and just out push. Like that could have been an option. But when they were so far behind, the Mordekaiser pick just felt so bad because he never finds any value, he never finds any avenue. He was even dove, or not dove, but he was ganked and immediately killed, so he never got anything out of the Malphite pick. And I think that that's one of the worst things that happened in this game to the side of Clown Gaming because the Jinx was alone, like you pointed out, and she couldn't do anything, especially because of the deficit that she was already in.
yeah, I fully agree. Mordekaiser, when you're not winning lane, especially when you get behind, is not a great pick at
Doesn't feel
all.
great.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to play, especially building Force of Nature. Um, yeah, but with that, we will be sending it to a short intermission. Uh, CB Ibiza 1-0 over CGG. We will be right back after a short break. Don't go anywhere. See you then. to Runeterra Academy Sophomore Finals. I am PVS, joined by TDS. How's it going? CBI taking the series 1-0 so far.
Yeah, and with a in all honesty, with a really dominating game, like it lasted 30 minutes, but it felt like it could have ended even earlier than that because of how dominating it was for CBI. Now, looking into game two, I hope to see adaptation out of Clown Gaming. From what I'm seeing, they are bringing Induced in. I think that he wasn't like he couldn't play in the first game, so no name back to the mid lane and Induced in the AD carry position. So I hope that this means that they are going to be playing to the level that I expected out of them, and see if they can actually deliver. Also taking now red side, which I think can be important to get an advantage for your soul laners. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's something that happened in the finals as well, in the semifinals as well against the eight. Like the red side gameplay was actually really nicely executed, and I think that just allowed for them to be able to come back. Their blue side gameplay wasn't necessarily super bad, but it certainly showed flaws, and I think that it comes from the fact that they cannot get counter picks or at least a better handle on what they want to do in their soul laners compared to what they can do in the blue side. And I don't think it's surprising, in all honesty. Like, we saw how safe it was in the sense that with the ultimates, you really aren't that pressured. Even if you can even take the exhaust and allow for a lot of protection for yourself. And then you also have a lot of lane presence early on, especially if you're opting into the lethality build. You have a lot of presence early on that certainly the carries cannot fight against. Now, I do think that there was a slight mistakes out of the bot lane in the previous game, and that meant that the Saya was much stronger than it usually is. But at Tristana pick, one champion that I haven't seen in a while, and if you pair with an engaged support, this can be such a strong level to power spike to try and destroy the Saya as early as possible. Yeah, but it's fun to see, I think. Is it okay? Yeah, Sack. So Sack getting picked this time for Clown Gaming. The Wukong was banned, so I'm like that they are opting into this time taking the Sack for themselves. I'm a huge Sack enthusiast in the sense that I feel like he deserves much more playtime than he actually receives. And I think that he has quite a few matchups that are actually quite good. But when you play the Sack, Poppy can be a really nice option, and I think that Poppy is also another champion that gets overlooked because she can destroy a lot of compositions thanks to the fact that she denies dashes. And the game currently has a huge amount of dashes that if you have a Poppy in your team can interrupt quite effectively. As well as a Leona. I'm not against the Leona. I like the Alistar pairing with the Saya a lot in the previous game, but this game, Leona can be one of the better pairings for the Tristana as well. And I think that she interrupts quite well with the champions that do follow up correctly the Tristana. Those champions typically are the Nautilus, the Leona, the Rel, or the Alistar himself. So I'm not against the Leona in this place, but I think that CG should now opt into the support. Oh. I get like Morgana against the Leona is understandable. Like you're pointing out, it's a solid pick. But the problem that I find with this is the fact that you really pick a lot of the times the Tristana for that level 2 power spike. Or that early power spike that she gets with the bomb jumping on top of the AD carry and bombing them down, quite literally. The problem is that that works amazingly with an engaged support. But Morgana will allow for you to get much more lane priority, but unless she hits her binding, and even then, even if she hits her binding, like, she's not a mid ball that can withstand following up the Tristana, and I feel like that's the scary thing about this bot lane. The fact that if they don't get ahead early on, or if they are not able to execute what the Tristana wants to do with the combo early on, I think that they may not find a lot of value. Now, the Morgana shield is actually quite good to have. I'm not gonna lie. Like, having the black shield this game could be really ideal, but I'm not a huge fan of not opting into that power spike of the Tristana early on. They could go for a blind mid lane. Oh, okay. I think they can opt for a blind mid pick here. Something like a picture. A Corki wouldn't be bad either because he can self heal. Now you can opt into the Oriana to follow up with the sack as well. That wouldn't be bad. Or Syndra for lane domination. I wouldn't be okay. Set instead. So, Zed is an interesting pick here because I think that he obviously finds a lot of value in the top lane if you have good enough matchups, but he is actually a really nice blindable mid lane still. Like, I think that people have ignored the power that he can still have in the mid lane, especially against a lot of the mages that are currently meta. So I'm not actually against the set pick here if you can flex it correctly. I just don't like it if it gets countered in the top lane. If it gets put in the top lane and it gets countered, like maybe with a cannon, I'm not a huge fan of the set. But if they can flex it correctly, accordingly, I would love to see the set pick going either top lane or mid lane if it finds a good matchup. The cannon pick still goes into what CBI played in the previous game. A lot of team fighting, a lot of collective just dive in and kill people. The Black Shield is going to be ideal to save one of the targets, but it can just save one, so I think Exhaust should be the summoner that gets taken here. And the Yone develop, okay, I feel like you can take Set in the mid lane against the Yone. Even if it can look a little bit dicey, I think that Set in the mid lane can be good against the Yone, particularly because you don't actually need to fight him, you just need to clear. The cannon will put you a little bit more pressure, but in the mid lane, I think that Yone would be ideal. The Set would be ideal. And now we need to see what CGG does close out their composition with. I would love that they opt into a top laner here. I'm trying to think which one could be good against the cannon, and instead opting for the Vex. So it's going to be a Set top lane and a Vex mid lane potentially, which I'm kind of sad. I am sad that they didn't take full advantage of the Set potential here, but Vex is not a bad champion. She does have a pretty okay matchup against the Yone. Team fighting wise, she will find a lot of spaces. The only main problem that I can find is the fact that the Poppy this composition is going to be awesome. Like, she denies the jump from the stack, she denies the jump from the Tristana, she can deny the Vex as well to a certain degree if you can time it correctly. So all in all, I think that the Poppy can just be the wild card, the Joker in this composition to destroy what CG wants to achieve, and then CBI is still with a pretty straightforward composition, engaging, heal people, and with the team fight essentially with that, which I'm not against. Easy to execute compositions are not bad.
Alright,
Now,
test. You
are
all
you
hear
back?
me?
Are you back?
I
Is he back?
think so. I'm waiting for confirmation about me being back. So can someone talk in the Twitch chat? See if I'm Hey, okay, they can hear me. Nice.
Perfect.
But yeah, Vex, a typical counter pick into Yone.
Yeah.
Lots of dashes going through with that champion. Could be fairly interesting, especially with the Kennen diving into the backline. I think Tristana does have a fairly easy time just Buster shotting it away, but yeah.
And she more than likely gets the Black Shield as well, so I feel like she shouldn't have a lot of trouble against surviving the cannon. I just think that, like, I feel like it's a wasted opportunity having the Morgana, not because Morgana is bad in any sense, but I just think that if you had something like an Nautilus, something like an Alistar this game, like if you can find an avenue to snowball, it's on the bot lane. Because I don't think that you snowball that heavily in the mid lane, and I don't think top lane you can snowball that heavily with a set either. So I feel like you should have opted into all leaning on bot lane, and to all lean on bot lane you needed to have that Tristana plus tank combo, which I think it's a missed opportunity. But Morgana can still find value. Like, she's a great champion to allow for your carry to carry.
Yeah,
Quite
I mean,
literally.
it's a very strong enabler, especially with a hyper carry. I'd say, who do I prefer? Who do you favor draft-wise in this game?
I take CBIs, like, because it's pretty straightforward, but you can see 100% the idea that they are opting into and the way that they can execute on it. Like, you don't need the Saya to make the plan of the other four work out. And I think that that's actually really ideal because Saya realistically just needs to be there to deal damage. The other four are the ones that will execute the plan on diving in and destroying, which I think it's pretty straightforward, but pretty executable and pretty understandable to pull off. Now, CGG has a lot of pieces that in idea can work out, but also can just be completely useless on themselves. Like, I think that the Tristana, yes, she can dive in and she does have the potential to allow for dive to happen, but I think that she's going to have such a hard time carrying the game. Like if she is out of position by just 1 millimeter, she's destroyed. And even with a black shield, she can still get destroyed because Kennen can ult you, and you can deny the Kennen ultimate with a black shield, but the Yone will ult you, and he can destroy you as well. So that's already a harsh reality for the Tristana. Now, Zed needs to be able to ulti someone out of position, but if he gets CC'd to death, which this composition can also do, it's going to be really harsh on him, and it's not like he has an easy time on lane to gain an advantage that is enough to pull him through later on in the game, and that's another scary point for the set. And then you're relying quite heavily on the Vex and the stack, getting onto the backline, deleting them first. And I mean back, I say backline, but realistically, as long as they can get on top of the Kennen or the Yone and deleting them as soon as possible, then there's avenues for CG to play the game. But it just seems so hard to execute. Like there's a lot of conditions that feel that need to be done to actually pull off CGG's composition, where I think that CBI just, it's pretty straightforward and there's not a lot of conditions that need to be met for them to pull off their composition.
Yeah, I think this could just be like another rerun of game one. ADC isn't able to move in any fights, so it just kind of gets blown up, and then they don't really have any damage with the rest of their comp. Set a little bit better than Mordekaiser, I'd say, but I think it will be a very impossible matchup top lane versus Kennen. I think Yone can have a good time versus Vex in some scenarios, so
Yeah, like
I also favor CBI.
Yeah, it's not inherently a clear cut counter in the Vex. Like it's good because you can like utilize the fear to push him away and the like. But Yone is one of those champions that unless you straight up uh, put him in the dust, he can find a lot of avenues. But Zed needs to be able to close up on you, and Kennen is one of those champions in the top lane that will not allow to you to do that. Like unless he mispositions, it's really hard for you to get full advantage of the set. That's why I wanted to see the set mid lane actually, because I think that against the Yone you're fine, and then you put a better counter into the top lane, and then you can snowball through that lane. And the Kennen, if Kennen is behind, he will be dead weight in a lot of senses because he needs the items to actually find the value in the ultimate as well. So I think that it's a missed opportunity out of the side of CGG to get better value out of their draft, in my opinion.
I wouldn't actually be surprised if Kennen goes first strike or Airy. I think playing towards the lane domination
That would
is
be a good
fairly doable versus Set.
Yeah.
Try to cash in on that gold, try to bully him out of lane, make him spend early TP into the top lane, where I think CBI can focus dragons. I think Leona Zaya can beat Tristana Morgana early in lane, especially because Zaya outranges Tristana so heavily, especially in the early stages. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, one thing that I want to mention as well about that matchup is that Leona is probably one of the better champions to play against Morgana as well. Even though the Black Shield denies her stun, like Morgana and Leona will follow up, which means that as long as you get on top of someone, she can then follow up on the target that doesn't have the Black Shield, and she can actually find value. So even though you can work out with the Morgana Black Shield, Leona is probably one of the better champions to be against Morgana in a sense as well.
yeah, a lot of AoE target selection here for the side of CBI. With
Yeah.
that, draft has concluded. We will be taking a short break before we head into game two. Vector delay, obviously, gotta wait for that. We will be right back after a short break. See you then for game two between CBI and CG. welcome back to game number 2 here between CBI and CGG. I am PVS, joined once again by TDS. CBI up 1-0 in the series so far. What are some key factors you're looking for in this game?
So first factor, don't fall behind early on if you're CGG. Second factor, if you're CGG, get ahead as well. That would work out marbles. And third factor, I think that find a lane that you can just commit to heavily and commit to that lane. Because in the previous game we didn't see that in the jungle. Like they tried to play around mid lane, but you don't really want to play around the Galio. You want to play with the Galio moving out of lane and play for that other lane. And I think that that's what CGG should do this game. Particularly would love that they commit for the bot lane just because they have a Tristana, and if she gets ahead, it's going to be such a boon to your strengths already on.
Yeah, I mean, CGG looking to fight back in this game too. Um, I personally think you definitely want to get Tristan ahead. I think that's your primary damage. I don't think Set or Vex really have much use in this game. As that says, like sounds to say. I think it is mainly going to be Tristana doing any damage.
I think that you use the Bex for that kind of scary factor in the sense that if she can get on top of someone, you can one shot someone. But apart from that, like I don't expect anything out of the set or the Bex out of the ordinary. I think that it's on the Tristana to be able to carry, and I think if they cannot do that, if the Tristana cannot do that, then this game is pretty much doomed a little bit.
Yeah, I think Vex will have an okay time here early. I think Yone eventually does kind of outvalue it. Unless, of course, you get like 4 resets in the fight.
Yeah.
Some pretty
Also,
standard laning. Kennen ended up going phase rush, which is a little bit strange to me. I don't think that's like good
I
enough.
think it has to do with the start that he did opt into with the call. A little bit to get that extra movement speed, and I think it also has to do with the fact that we were talking about this. Like, unless you miss position as a cannon, you can really win a lot in the fight. But this allows for him to just get, even if he gets into a top spot, like that gives him extra movement speed to just run away enough. A little bit like this,
Yep,
even though he
Potato
took
taking
that
a
a
little bit
full
of
front
damage.
trade. Yeah.
I think Morgana's gonna have a little bit easier of a time against Zaya than. Oh, okay,
Oh.
Waka going in, but Black Shield does come out. Waka gonna be taking a lot of damage. Chitin taking half of his health as well. Some good early trading from both teams.
Yeah, actually surprised that Subtato opted into going for the. Oh wait, engaging.
And Deuce getting engaged on Love Hitman. Looking for the Blade Collar. Will not find it yet. Flash forward by
Oh,
Waka. Will this
flashed
be
in.
first blood? Flash follow to get away. Zaya's a
Oh,
little
they
bit too
don't
far
have
forward
enough.
now, and Deuce will get taken down for first
Oh
blood.
no!
Little bit too far forward. Zaya will execute to the tower. Is that enough to sacrifice themselves for Waka? Leona trying to run away into the sunset. Will get away to the tower.
And once again, another great start for the Saya bot lane. You get, even with the sack going towards the lane, like there was a really nice engage by Waka. They have that ward inside of the bush, and they were able to collapse onto and do so nicely. And this is where this is something that I wanted to comment on, and it's the fact that I didn't understand, or I wasn't sure why the Morgana started with the pool instead of the bind. Because I think that you really don't need the pool to push. You actually would rather have the bind because that makes your trading much better against the Leona if she ever commits like that. Oh,
Yeah, Chitin taking a lot of health. A lot of health lost in the mid lane. Part of the Doran's Blade, which is, I mean, it's the more aggressive route. I am personally more of a shield fan, but
yeah, I'm also into the D shield actually. I think that you really don't need that aggressive start to be able to pull off in the lane. And I feel like you really don't even need the D blade. Like you say aggressive start, oh wait.
here comes Batman into the bot lane. Will find the little Q. Gets the tether towards each other, but Induced will not have any damage to follow up.
Re-engage.
Yes, Subtato's here, and they will just walk out. So, a lot of time being lost here for Batman.
Yeah, the thing is that this is what we asked out of him. Like, this is what he should be doing. The problem is that because the bot lane cannot follow up on him, or because they messed up the early engage and they gave away such an early kill, like they cannot actually follow up on some of these plays, and the Zac can simply achieve what he wants. Oh, Poppy in the area. Okay, she doesn't commit for the play, but still, like this, I think that this is really showcasing why I didn't like the fact that the Morgana was the pick, because I feel like with a tank, with an engaged support, you get more value even when you're behind. Like you can force an engage to happen. With the Morgana, it's a little bit harder for that.
Yeah, you kind of have to wait for people to engage onto you, which kind of sucks. I mean, you can fish with random binds, but not the most consistent skill shot to hit. You know, we'll be able to just lightning dash out of that. Kato Man taking a little bit of a beating, staying fairly even in farm, which is nice. Nonan gonna get dashed on. Waka is here. Zenith Blade will not land, and it will just be walked away.
Yeah, that was just about out of range for the Leona. And oh wait, he did a lot of damage. Not the worst, but that is one of the things that you can kind of achieve thanks to the fact that you're opting into the Saya, and it's even if the Saya is getting pushed, like it's not like, oh wait, it just
Ooh. Okay,
oh
there
no,
goes the block from Poppy, gets slammed into the wall.
well bye
And it will
bye.
be donated over to Singular Bread actually taking the kill, so still okay. It is Predator Poppy. Nonan being dashed
That
on
was
once again.
sad to see.
Titan will go with the Fate Seal, but will get dashed away from. Actually, pretty much just missed. Not really dashed away from, but Potato taking very rough trades. This Xayah is proving to be a very decisive pick for CBI.
Yeah, it's just that right now the Saya feels overall such a good pick in so many senses. Oh, Kaiden. Okay,
Yeah,
just
Ignite goes
ignite
down.
traded at the end.
You're
That
trying
was
to
so
proc
random.
the electrocute.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if that gets you enough damage to clean up the kill, but still, like trading the ignites at the end, both end up using their ignites without actually getting the soul kill, so it's not the worst of situations. But once again, first dragon going for into the pockets of CBVisa, and this time is much earlier, which means that they can force a potential soul much earlier than in the previous game, and I think that that benefits way too hard the side of CBVisa as well.
Yeah, and it will not be a Cloud Soul, which is always a good sign for any team wanting to stack Dragon. Will pretty
100%.
much be a good Dragon either way. Mountain, Infernal, and Ocean both very insane value for both these comps, really.
I think actually like the one that you less want to get it's the mountain this game, just because there's not a lot of champions that will get a lot of stacking in terms of their tankiness. Like apart from Zac and Poppy, there's not a lot of champions that will stack armor or health like that. So I feel like it's not the best of options. It's not a bad option. Don't get me wrong. Like I would still want to get the mountain, but I feel like both teams want to opt into getting either Infernal or the Ocean.
Yeah, definitely the most. I'd say probably the two most prized dragons, just overall for most of these teams. Next dragon will be up in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, so we'll see if the bot lane can get the back timers set for that. Xayah almost finished the Eclipse, so will be a lot of early power, especially compared to this Tristana. Waka going very deep, induced it. We'll get the Black Shield on top. But yeah, the Explosive Charge will be traded out for the Feathers. Ooh, that is a lot of damage with Scorch.
Yeah, I really like how this in this series we have seen how the Love Hitman has hidden those feathers like that, because most of the time the Love Hitman gets such a nice trade, even if it looks small, he gets such a nice trade back and just makes it so that if they force a fight, like the trade becomes so valuable. And I really like how he has played the Saya overall this series so far. I mean,
Yeah, and speaking of another pick here, I don't think Kobita's doing too much in this top lane. He's not really bullying this set out, which is
just
what we kind of figured would happen.
like he has been just going for the health trades, not really making the most out of his range lead. Now he does have a huge wave that he will collect soon enough, but I feel like, as I said, as long just a little bit of a minion difference is not bad at all, unless you get freeze done.
Yeah, I mean, both champions probably just looking for the team fight value. Obviously, set when Conquer instead of Lethal Tempo. Not going Blade of the Rune King, which is to be expected, not really against the tank.
I think this game he has to opt into, what is it called? The other option in terms of, oh, he does this.
Oh, good prediction there from Waka. And that will be Induce going
Okay.
down. Waka MVP of the
Okay.
series after that predict.
Okay, Waka, why did you have to do him so dirty? Like, that was completely unnecessary. But that was such a great play. They did blow double flash. Oh,
Ooh, Titan taking a lot of damage. Here comes the Vex ultimate. Will be fate sealed away from. The Ignite's ticking. Will it take Titan down? Lives with just a sliver of health.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that No Name didn't just stand in front, because I think that you just stand in front to stop the ulti, then you flash out to get the better of the trade, and just 1 out or more you get the kill. That was, I feel like that could have been the pattern, but I can understand the fear. Oh,
Here comes
Kubita.
Batman top. Vita forced the flash away. Oh, flash forward by Potato Man. Can he knock him insect back into the lane? Vita trying to run away with the phase rush.
Kubita, I think he's dead.
Singular Butt is here, but Poppy, I don't think Poppy's going to do anything to either of these champions. Waka's here, but yeah, that is a support in a Poppy versus Zac and Set. I don't think they will ever win that fight. So they will back off and reset the map.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised that Singular Bread didn't opt into the play a little bit earlier. Now, namely, he did collect the Herald, which I think does mean that they are going to get much more gold. Even though they lost the cannon in that play, they will be able to get a good amount of gold. And also Poppy coming topside. I think they can force this play. Okay, no, he's escaping. He's fine.
Yeah, I don't think Set's going to be pot here. Poppy does secure the Herald, which is honestly pretty decent here, especially with the dragon spawning in 30 seconds. Can try to accelerate the pace of the game, get a little bit of extra gold, potentially on the Chitin. See how this matchup works. It is just the instant fear.
Oh, Kobita.
Vita being face slammed back into the minion, but will just get
That's the face rush value
well.
right there.
Yeah. I guess that's why you take it, to get out of the Haymaker. A lot of damage, actually.
Oh, he failed.
Early pen boots will do a lot of work versus Set.
Yeah. If he hits that Q, there's a potential kill there. But I really like the trades that Potato Mato actually forced there, because he still has teleport. Which means that as long as Kobita doesn't back or doesn't push this fast enough, he could be able to stop this wave. But I think that it should be an easy wave crash into the turret, and Kobita should be able to back here.
Yeah, there is 4 each for both teams in this bottom river. Set has teleport to match.
Oh,
Poppy
Poppy!
going in very early. Leonel,
Oh,
big
Poppy!
feather storm
Oh,
over the top,
no.
and the Blade Caller will probably secure the Zac passive kill. Chitin in the top of the fight will be taking down the Vex as well, and that is a very strong duel here. 3 down on the side of Clown Gaming Gotham.
That was one of the biggest steadfast presence I think I've seen. Stopping 3 people from escaping, and then setting up for the perfect solar flare as well. That was so huge. Like, the fact that there were only 2 kills, you have to thank God or anything you believed up there, the fact that that was only 2 kills. Because that could have been much more disastrous. Great play by the side of CV again, and this is what this composition does entitle for them. Like, they had the tools to play around for them. I think Potato needs to be careful. But there's no one here either, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, and you get all of this plate gold on Zaya. 4 kills, tier done, Eclipse already completed as well. Still has a health pot from lane.
It's the snowball happening again.
Yeah, as I called it, a run back of game number 1. Love Hitman. Maybe Clown Gaming Gotham will want to ban this Zaya out in game number 3.
Or pick them for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like quite a power pick here for CBI.
I feel like the main problem with the Sai is the fact that they are not attacking it correctly, and we have seen both games where bad trades just lead to early kills for the Saya, and then just the Love Hitman has been able to get the better of the trades. Like, I hope that we get a game where the Love Hitman doesn't get an early kill, because that is, I think, the best way to try and punish the Saya, not giving it early kills.
And as you said, it is a Ocean Soul, sorry. So definitely worth fighting for CBI. Can stack that up. A lot of value, just sustaining, especially for Zaya, that can just continue poking over and over again. Same with Kennen. So, pretty good dragon.
Yeah, all in all, I think not the worst of the dragons. Obviously, I feel like for this game, particularly for CBI, will get a lot of value. No name.
No name. Getting face sealed. A lot of damage onto the Vex. Will get taken down. CG Batman just a little bit too late to the fight.
I'm not sure if No Name flashed in place. I think he did, right? Or did my thing bug? Like, because he flashed, but he didn't run away, so he got caught by everything anyway. And Waka at the end, just with a flash away, cool guys don't look at explosions. He just was able to escape perfectly, and another kill set up. The problem is that with that kill happening in mid as well for against CGG, they can't even get the turret down in bot lane, so they can't even get that bounty into their pockets. And I feel like at this point, unless they get something like that with the Tristana, they are not going to find a lot of gold value.
Yeah, 450 gold bounty onto the Zaya so far. Um, Next dragon spawning in 2 minutes 30 seconds. Singular Bread will find CG Batman. Can't really block the elastic slingshot. I mean, you can to an extent, but it does take a lot of reactionary skill. Little bind, little cheeky bind in the river.
How little did he care about that?
Hey, Chitin will dash forward. Fear misses from No Name, actually. A lot of damage. Wow,
Oh,
okay.
No Name.
And that lethal tempo range on the auto attacks will secure the kill for Chitin in the mid lane.
Okay, I don't know who said it, but certainly watching Kaiden's Yone has been a pleasure so far. He has been threading the needle so nicely and getting that solo kill in that manner, so perfectly done. Like, he even baited out Potato's shield so nicely, then immediately opted into No Name and killed him so greatly. Like, that was so perfectly executed. And yep, they can even find Singular Bread.
Okay,
So Potato's dead.
also being killed in the mid lane. Love Hitman picking up the 5th kill of this game too, already at 16 minutes.
Yeah, like we talked about how this could be a repetition of game 1, but I wasn't expecting it to be like this, and this Tristana pick just simply hasn't been it so far. Not only the Tristana pick, like each of the picks from the side of CGG simply haven't been that good so far. Like, apart from Potato Mato being able to keep a gold deficit to be as little as possible, as well as getting a gank and getting a kill, like that's about it. He hasn't find any value. CG Batman, he tried to gank but never could find anything. And the Morgana, when she's behind, when you don't have any control over the map, like she feels like you cannot simply find anything.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit rough when your strong side of the map early is Tristana Morgana. I just don't think there's enough like power there. Especially when Tristana isn't even finished a mythic item at 18 minutes, while Zaya is working on their 3rd. Yeah, Tristana quite a bit behind. We'll pull up the gold chart here. 8,500 in the pockets of the Love Hitman, while Induced has 5,300. So
just enough, right? Just enough of a gold thief.
You can call that a gold diff. You can call that bot diff. Whatever you want to call it.
We call
Third
it
dragon spawning here in 10 seconds. Would be surprised if CBI doesn't go for this. Induced, once again, getting caught out by the Solar Flare and taken down by the Love Hitman. 6 kills on the board.
So, I'm kind of curious. Can Waka please just stop bullying people? Oh, wait, Kaiden?
Yeah, No Name taking quite low. Actually dashes back in. A little bit strange there. Vex will find the shutdown. Not the all-prize 700 gold one, but Vex will take that for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And Kaiden misplaying that quite heavily, trying to dive into the turret, and misreading the amount of damage that he could deal, giving away the kill to the Vex. Certainly not something to scoff at, because it's gold going back into the pockets of the Vex and the side of CGG. The fact also they get the Herald means that they also claim the bounty, but it's still such a nice gold thief in favor of CBI. And as soon as they decide to come together, I don't know why I forgot the exact word, but as soon as they decide to come together and join a team fight, I think that should be what puts one nail closer into the coffin of CGG.
Actually, kind of surprised it's Stride Breaker here for the set. I think Gore Drinker probably gets more value.
I actually like it. I'm more on the Stride Breaker this game, because I feel like you need to stop people from running away, and I feel like that's the best way to
here
stop
comes
that from
Singular
happening.
Bread Predatoring. And the Turbo Chem Tank kind of just running at their face, but the objective bounty taken. There is a dive into the top lane. Potato Man will get stunned up 3 times, but it will just run out with those Merc Treads.
Yeah, good usage of the Merc Treads. Also the ultimate, because he utilized the ultimate towards his own turret, allowing for him to escape quite easily. And at the end, it's a trade of ultimates between the Potato Mato and Waka. But you take that trade almost any time. Like, Fiona's ultimate is not something that you worry about trading, as long as you can get something of value back. And they did get the ultimate out of Potato Mato. Now, I do want to say, I really like that the side of CGG does get the mid lane turret.
Oh, here goes Titan, Fate Sealed.
Ooh.
On to No Name, flash forward, misses the Vex.
He flashed.
And the execute by Yone will take down the kill on Vex. Singular Bread maybe a little too far forward, but
He's fast
charge, not going to do too much. Tristana just finished Kraken Slayer, so not the most damage out of that champion.
But at least better than having no mythic. So
That is
it's a
true.
steps into the right direction for CGG. Now, Yone did solo kill the Vex, showing what he can do, like when he does commit the play correctly. But like I'm kind of glad that CGG has find avenues to get gold back, even if it's still 7,000 gold deficit. Like they have collected a couple of bounties, and they have also gotten a good vision around the map, taking some vision. But like when they take good trades, they still are losing something in the other
Okay,
side. Oh,
Induced is dead. The Love Hitman will pick up another kill. Batman also in danger, has the Zac passive available. Everfrost will just miss from No Name, but rooted up
oh no
by the
name.
Blade Caller. Zac passive also taken down here by the cannon. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Subtato has to Black Shield and run away from the cannon. But
And
very good team fight here from CB Ibiza.
yeah, and they can go for Baron immediately. Like they have the Kaiden, they have Kaiden's damage, they have the Love Hitman on 3 items. They even have Kennen that can deal quite a bit of good damage. So like this should be an easy Baron to collect, and that's the difference between a 3-item Saya and a 1-item Tristana. Immediate death. Like she died in the blink of an eye, alone. Like I don't remember Waka actually committing anything to get that kill.
Yeah, and that will be Baron number 1 secured here for CB Ibiza. Will be active during the Dragon Soul fight as well. So extra stats onto the side of Zaya. Almost done
And
4
more
items now.
lethality.
Yeah, that
More
is.
lethality.
If Induced wasn't dead before, they are dead now.
Yep. 100%. And also, one thing to not forget about as well, the level differences. Even in top lane has a 1 level diff, jungle has a 2 level diff, mid lane has a 2 level diff, bot lane has a 3 level diff. I mean, AD carry has a 3 level diff, and Waka has a 1 level lead over Subtato. So all in all, every position has a level difference in advantage to CDI, and that also does matter because its ultimates being leveled up. It's also having the extra health. It's just looking so harsh once again for CGG to try and turn around this game. And I think it's not like it's impossible because they do have late game damage. It's how
Oh
long
my
can they get
goodness.
towards the spot? Wow.
Potato in danger. Another Blade Caller could kill. That is 200 left, 200 HP left onto the Morgana. Looks like Batman will get knocked down out of
Again.
midair. Love Hitman forced to use the Featherstorm. That's big pull
Yeah,
onto the
he's dead.
Zac. Is this the game? I think Vita's a little bit in danger.
Vita
Walker
still has
flashing
ulti.
forward, gets the Solar Flare onto Set. Will get body slammed into the tower, but Love Hitman looking forward, and Titan will be forced to dash back with that E.
Kaden flashed in. He flashed in and then used the soul and bound to try and get on top of Induced, and Induced just jumped away. But yeah, I think that this should be close to game. Oh. Induced.
Yeah, No Name
he's
will
fine.
get slammed into the wall, and they are goner. They are a goner. Subtato, the last member remaining here. 23 minutes in, it gets knocked in midair. Waka will get executed to the tower. And I think this is the game. I don't think anybody's going to hit the Love Hitman. And that is game 2 in this best of 5 series going over to CB Ibiza.
Well, we said how game 1 was domination. But this was what is far. I don't know what is farther from ahead of domination, but this is just domination to the next step. That was not fair for the side of CGG, and once again, it all starts on the bot lane. They get a kill early on. Saya is in touch, or well, she died, but she gets the first blood. She gets control over the wave. Tristana doesn't have an answer back. You see the repetition of bot lane dying. Then it's the jungle from CBI just constantly moving around the strong lane, getting leads. You see the value out of the pop in this draft, and just feels impossible for the side of CGG to ever get a grasp in the game because there's nothing that they can use. Like I cannot fault Batman in this game at all because he tried to look for the strong side. We talked about that, right? Like we said, you need to commit to bot lane because Tristana is your main carry. He did that, but bot lane died so consistently that he could never find avenues. And it just felt so hard for CGG after a certain point. Like the grasp once again so firm for CBEI, and they just never let go.
Yeah, a very firm victory here for CBI. Congrats on making World CBI. There's no way that CGG can come back from a 0-2. But with that,
Cursing it, really?
of course, you have to curse it. Of course.
Okay.
But with that, we will be heading to a short break. So 5-6 minutes. We are already getting drafts set up, so we will see you shortly. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
There's no medicine for what you put in. I don't know, and I don't know why, but I let it in. For that I repent, and I don't know, and I don't know why. Like I was saved from the shit that you said. Wish I could change the words that you said. And there's no medicine, there's no medicine. Your words crawling to my ears tonight. I'm crawling inside. Hypnotized by parasitic lies. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside. Now here we go, you're dedicated, you're celebrated. When you break me right down, you're killing me, premeditated. I'm devastated. Leave me on the ground, like I was saved from the I'm so fed up, I've had it. I'm so fed up, I've had it. I'm so fed up, I've had it. I never want peace, I thrive in the panic. Fed up with you, fed up with my friends. Fed up with seeing hell in my head. Fed up with life, fed up with the sun.
Welcome back to Runeterra Academy, where we are in Game 3 of CBI versus CGG Sophomore Sophomore Playoff Finals. Sorry. Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm PBS,
Yep.
joined once again by TDS. We'll head right into draft for this third game.
And I need to see what does end up happening in terms of adaptation, because in reality hasn't been that good. Like CGG once again opting into red side, finally they take off the Saya, but this also means that they potentially don't play Saya. But at the same time, they are on the red side, so that means that they rather not give it on the first pick. Now we're going to actually see what CBI does opt into as the first pick. I'm not sure what the best first AD carry could be. In my
Okay,
opinion.
Zayabin.
Like, oh,
There's a slight change in the draft. Zaya's gone. That's just
yeah.
Crab Brave. Zaya's gone. You know. Waiting
What
for the third man
what
here.
first AD carry would be a good option? It's what I'm trying to think. If you are CBI,
First ADC pick. I think
not necessarily first. I need to rephrase that. Not necessarily first, but what good AD carry could they opt into? Because I think that Siri could be a good option. Oh, okay, this
That's
was
not
banned
it?
actually.
Okay.
So
Yep. Could be a fasting Senna, could be a support Senna with the Umbral Glaive buffs. A little bit more affordable, 100 gold cheaper, and the passive is up every. It's another 10 seconds off, which I believe it's at 25-second cooldown now.
okay,
Pretty good buff.
yeah. And I like CBI. If I'm not wrong, are one of the teams that are actually willing to try things with the Senna. So I'm actually really glad that they do get the chance to play with the Senna.
Nunu.
Now Nunu, I think it was banned in the first game, and now it's open. We didn't see it in the second game, obviously, but in this last game, we're going to see Batman's Nunu. And if I'm not wrong, I did remember seeing Batman's Nunu on the first match of playoffs that I was able to catch from CGG. And I feel like he played that really decently, like finding a lot of value with the ultimates, which is kind of hard to find with the Nunu. And if he can replicate that, then I can see them being able to get the most out of this Nunu pick. Following up with Ronaldo's, not against this, because I think in the previous game you lacked a lot of engaged follow-up with the sack, but the Poppy was just simply so superior that it also felt like they couldn't find a lot of value.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
3 Nunu games so far for Batman. Paired up with the Nautilus. I honestly think that's going to be a Scion farming bot.
It's
That's
fine. Yeah,
my
I think
guess.
it's Cyan Bot as well. I do agree.
So there
Oh,
is
and
the
Bolivar
combo
to
of
follow up.
placing the Senna W on a minion and
Yeah.
eating it towards the enemy. It's a little bit hard to pull off, especially maybe at this elo, but who knows, with a little bit of practice, maybe they can pull it off. Volibear, that is a good flex pick for the top lane and jungle. CBB is looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah, and it's pretty tanky as well. Like, they can deal good damage and also survive for a long time. So you need someone that can deal with these tanks quite heavily. And I'm not sure what will be. I'm not sure that is a choice. Well, it's a good choice to destroy Senna, which I'm not against if that's the idea. The problem that I think that it is going to be 6 bottom with Nautilus. So the problem is that 6 is also a champion that doesn't necessarily has a lot of kill threat in a lot of matchups. Like, he can find avenues to get kills, but it's not consistently a kill threat bot laner. Which means that Senna Sion should have a free time farming and not getting killed, and that's going to be marvelous for them, because that means that they will get the time to scale, and that's going to be super difficult to stop later on. Now, I think that the 6, if it's big to destroy the Senna, it's a good idea, especially later on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Ziggs, I'm a big Ziggs fan. I pretty much exclusively played it in solo queue. Very happy in the lanes that can't really shove that well. which I don't know if
Yeah.
maybe Scion can Q the wave, but
It's not a shove heavy lane. Like they farm, but they cannot necessarily outpush the six, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, so the good thing with Ziggs is you can hit the minions and the champions at the same time, which I mean Scion might have a little bit of problem with, but obviously Senna sustain. Pretty nuts. I'd expect to see an early Oblivion Orb from Ziggs, maybe even like first item. But never know.
I think that would be a little bit okay. So
MF mid or MF AD was Ziggs mid.
yeah, 6 mid potentially.
So
already setting up for simply a wombo to try and kill the Senna with a wombo.
yeah, I don't know if Nunu's the best pick with that, but I think defaulting to like Zac or something again would have been better.
Yeah, with the whole or opting for Jarvan, I wouldn't be mad at with a Jarvan either, if
Yeah,
that's the
Jarvan's not too
case.
bad. Okay,
Oh,
there's a
the
fizz.
fizz. So if it's 6 mid, the thing is, if either of this can get killed by the fizz, right? So that
Yeah.
can be a tough matchup in mid lane. And I think if I'm not wrong, it's the Amandis once again stepping up in the mid lane. So it's a player that already won against in an assassin against a tank mid in the mid lane, and now it's going to be an assassin against a mage, which is much more volatile. So it's gonna be a little bit riskier. And with the Nard to close it up, I'm actually like ignoring the Fizz because I think that Fizz will be a champion that will do whatever he wants to do in the game, like apart from the rest of the team. The 4-man unit, Senna, Sion, Bolivar, and Nar, is actually something that I'm really happy to see because they are strong tanks, but they can also deal quite a bit of damage. And you have the Senna to follow you up with a lot of shielding, healing, and the utility that the Senna does provide without ignoring the damage. So all in all, I'm actually really a fan of the 4-man unit that they have drafted for themselves.
All right,
And
we
last
will,
pick wasn't
we will
picked.
inform you what that pick is
Yeah.
shortly. Speaking of Gnar counter pick, Gnar does have quite a few pretty terrible matchups. It will be Jace this time, so just imagine there's Jace in that little bottom right corner. It is the C9
Imagine.
Summit champion pool top lane duel.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be a
Essentially.
very interesting little matchup.
Now, I think that the Jace is going to be that champion that this game as the Nunu you want to play around with, because if he does a snowball, like he does have enough poke to kill a lot of the champions. Like one of the main problems will be the fact that there's 2 meatballs in front of the Senna, so a lot of the poke will not get collected. But if the Jace does get ahead, like there's a lot of opportunities for the Jace to shine in the game. But I also think that CGG's composition, I'm fearful because I think that post 30 minutes, I think that they can barely do a lot of things. Like Styx will scale well. Misfortune, it doesn't necessarily stop scaling to a certain degree, although lethality does fall off a little bit compared to the Creed build, which I don't think it's just going to opt into. And then Jace, he can be strong late game, but the problem is going to be the fact that the CBI composition will scale quite well. Like, let's not name Fizz, he's an assassin, he will try and do his thing. The 4 champions, Senna, Sion, Bolivar, and Gnar, are going to be great scalers. And when you have that value in scaling from your side, maybe not Gnar, but the other 3 are actually going to be really good, then you're going to be quite fearful. And I feel like that's going to be a problem for CG, because if they are strong tanks that stand in front of Senna and she can do whatever she wants, then your avenues to win the game will almost become impossible to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, Jace obviously gonna early look to Blaze top. I wouldn't be surprised if Nunu tries to gank top early. Very deadly level 2 and 3 ganks, especially if Nard doesn't level E early. MF, so it will be Ziggs, mid lane. Oh, sorry, no, it's not locked in yet. 1 sec. 15 seconds on that pick, so it will be Ziggs and yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So more standard gameplay there. Ziggs into Fizz is a little bit scary. Can just dodge out on the satchel charge. Yeah, the little Ziggs W knockback. I mean, Ziggs can poke from range, which is good, but I'm very scared for Diamandis in this mid lane.
Yeah, I feel like at level 6, like, he's bound to die. Like, we have seen Kaiden in the 3 games, how at level 6, he's bound to go in without regards for anything. So at level 6, I'm expecting to see Kaiten diving towards the 6 and trying to get a kill. Not diving the turret, but actually just following up on him and trying to kill him as hard as possible.
All right, I have a little wager for you here. So
No,
Ziggs in
no.
the mid lane,
Yep.
under or over 5.5 deaths this game?
Over.
Over? Okay, so
Yeah.
6 or more. Okay.
Yeah, I think that this game, like what we're going to see from the six this game, it's him spamming abilities, getting the rotation out, and dying. I feel like that's what's going to happen. He gets one rotation and he's dead. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ziggs is definitely gonna die. I'm gonna say 8 times this game.
Oh, you're even trying to
Total.
go for the number.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
say
yeah.
10.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go for
Okay. So if it's 9, we both lose. Yeah, Ziggs is gonna have a pretty rough time versus Fizz and Gnar jumping onto him, but
10. I'm not even just opting into the Fizz matchup alone that will destroy him. I just feel like when we reach mid game and late game, like I think that he will die super consistently. And he cannot even go for side lane. So he cannot touch side lanes because he can die. He cannot stay too long in mid lane because he can die. And then in team fights, I'm pretty sure he will die. So
yeah, there's
I just
no
don't find a lot of places where Six can be alive.
yeah,
essentially.
there's not too much of a side lane answer to this. I think Jace will be fine versus Gnar, but
It's mainly Jace, yeah.
yeah, other than that, it will be pretty rough time for Ziggs. With that, Spectator Relay is counting down. We will be back after a short 5-minute break for Game 3 and potentially the series deciding match for CBI. You won't want to miss that. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're good. Trying to work on this.
odds move closer, but with the deepest red. Beneath them we look on. When they part comes the hatred they bring. Lost in the dark, we've come so far. Another step to rid the pain. Go and be counted till your life.
Welcome back to Runeterra Academy Game 3 here of the Sophomore Grand Finals. I am PVS, joined once again by TDS for this third game. How you feeling so far in this series?
Well, after the first two games where it's been clear CBI domination, I hope that we get a game. If I'm honest, I hope that we get a game from CGG where they can show why they are in the grand finals, because so far it's been just CBI, and I hope that that's not the case at the end.
Yep. We will be starting off with an Infernal Dragon. Sorry. That is quite a cute skin in the mid lane. That is what's it called?
B.
Is it? Yeah, the bee. But what's the skin? Anyone in chat know what the skin's
B
called?
Monster Nunu.
Bee Monster Nunu.
Yeah, that's what I would call it.
Yeah, I could not tell you what that skin's called, but yeah,
Wait,
a
it
Nunu
has a
pick.
twin tail.
It has a what?
A twin tail? Is that a twin tail on its head?
I don't know. I gotta pan the camera over there.
Yeah, I'm more invested in that than anything
yeah,
else.
so am I.
If I'm honest.
This is what's important. Oh, it wants to go to non. Okay, we got two B skins in this game. We got Ziggs and the new one. I'm not sure what it's called.
Bzix. Okay.
That is the true RA lore. It's just B skins, but a red start. No leash here, I don't believe, for Volibear.
I think they did.
Oh, okay, I was just slow to see. So Senna Scion bot lane. Do you think they're going to be able to scale with this MF and Nautilus poking them down?
I think unless they die level 2, there shouldn't be much of a problem. Although level 6 is going to be a great spike because you can kill the Senna at that point as well. Like, it's actually one of the best points to try and kill the Senna at level 6 because she's not that mobile and you can just force a flash out. But I don't expect to see the Senna dying, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that No Name didn't go Comet. I think that adds a little bit more poke. I don't think press the attack is going to be proc too much in this lane. There is that new Leandri's build, which I'm a big fan of, which is a little bit better in the tanks. Which, I mean, Scion is the tank in the game, so.
Not gonna lie, I haven't heard of that. So
Really?
I'm actually kind of curious.
Yeah, it's you go Comet, you go Scorch, and you go Leandri's after Manamune. It's a lot of extra damage because every MF ability scales with AP.
Wait, so finally people are opting into the Manamune? Because I hate the fact that MF is probably one of the better users of the Manamune and almost nobody uses it correctly. Which I'm not a fan of.
I think that's MF's current highest win rate build. I'm not entirely sure. I know Vegar V2 is where I learned it from. Oh, early gank onto Kavita in the top lane. That's Snowball doing
Kavita's
so
dead.
much damage. Flash forward by Potato Man. So first blood here for CGG. Singular Bread trying to trade it back. Will get stopped away. But Potato Man on the wrong side of the tower, and it will be traded. But first blood for the Jace.
Yeah, and actually a little bit misplayed out of Kavita. You have to flash before the snowball hits you because if not, you're dead. Oh no.
Ooh, a root going out with the no name. Here comes the Son of Slow as well. Just added a few patches ago. Will miss the roar, but Waka first flash away. Flash forward by No Name, so an early bot lane lead here for No Name. Here comes the press the attack. Will just be shielded away. So looks like that's probably the end of that trade. No Name gonna take a lot of damage. Procs the shield off. Here comes
She
the
has no
grass proc.
mana.
Yeah, no mana. You have no mana, and Potato Man will be trying to trade, and Gnar has the minions, so the minions will win the fight. MVP minions. Good job.
How did amazing turn into awful for the side of CGG in just a couple of seconds? They got a skill in top lane for the Jace. They also got a kill in bot lane for the Misfortune.
Oh, here's Nunu once again. Nara's about to turn Mega. I don't know if this is.
Yeah.
Maybe Nunu could die. It does miss the wallop, so we'll be able to roll his way on out of it.
problem is that, yeah, Kobita needed to push this as hard as he could
He's still a little
previously.
far forward. He is back into mini. Batman may be able to find the route. Taking Batman quite low. Kobita
Batman,
getting
yeah.
flash forward on again. So Batman will live, and Jace will pick up the second kill of the game.
So great kill that the Nuno gets in top lane, and it's actually Kobita was forced into a bad spot because I think that he had to commit onto pushing the wave, but before the Nuno gank happened, because if not, the wave was going to be in an awful spot for him, and because the Jace also didn't have teleport, it was the best opportunity for him to try and get an advantage of that.
All right, here comes Volibear's first attempt at a gank into the bot lane. Induced will get double rooted up. They will get taken down. Chomp goes forward. Induced trying to limp away, but the Love Hitman will find the kill. It is interesting that the Love Hitman, the ADC player, is playing the Scion. You don't typically see that.
Yeah, it's usually the AD that just plays the support position, but I think this is actually better from just the normal standpoint, or not better, but more logical, because the support should be able to know where to ward, where to get certain spots correctly, where not to overcommit as a support, because they should be able to, they should know how to play the enchanters and the like. So I think that it just makes much more sense. But it is true that it's much weirder to see the AD playing the tank version. Oh wait,
Here comes the hook. I don't think much is going to happen from that. I think Scion has the D shield and the Ruby Crystals, so a lot of health on that dude.
yeah, he has the tankiness to survive that.
Potato Man is down a level.
He's coming top again.
Yeah, here comes Nunu taking the greatest snowball ever. We'll get the stun off. I think that actually canceled Kobita's jump there. If I'm not mistaken, he gets rooted.
Oh,
Here comes the Zigzag, will miss.
He didn't have
and, okay, he didn't have it at the time, but okay. So Kobita will escape the gank. Ziggs had to expend the ult. A little bit of minions mid, I believe.
I think he should be fine. He shouldn't have a problem collecting the minions mid, but you have to say Potato Mato missing the shock blast point blank actually potentially could affected obtaining the kill onto Kobita, which all in all is bad because you committed quite a bit to get that kill and you at the end don't get it. On the other side, it's the dragon that seems to be the objective for the side of CBI, and I feel like they should be able to get this so early on.
Yeah, early Infernal Dragon has a lot of value. Kobita having to jump away, but Induce will get full knocked up. That will be a lot of slows.
No flash steal.
Here comes the Fizz ult, and Chitin will secure the kill onto Induced. Kobita will be probably forced to recall into the top lane, but I think we should do maybe a Senna Soul check.
How is she going?
On that. She got 28 at
Doing
7
quite well.
minutes 30. That's pretty solid so far, especially for not following the jungler around yet. Kobita playing with fire a little bit, or playing with Hextech.
With heck, okay, I actually get it because it's the skin. Okay, I get the reference. Or not actually because I didn't watch Arcane, but I think I get it.
Oh, no Arcane.
Yeah, no, I'm not actually a fan of it. I don't think I've even seen anything out of that series yet.
I think it's solid. I enjoyed it.
I'll wait till season 3 is out.
Okay. All right, looks like Scion will be maybe looking for a cheese cube
He's
in the
been doing
bush.
this for a bit.
Yeah. Any idea what Scion's building with that? What's the item even called?
I think
Aegis
this is
of the Legion.
opting into Sunfire, because I'm pretty sure that apart from this, it's Stoneblade, which you build out of
Yeah,
this
I don't
as
think-
well. So
Yeah.
or it should be
We'll find it. And out.
the other. So the other option that I can think of, it's the support item. I think it's the Aegis that it also builds out of this. The Aegis, no, sorry.
Yeah. Locket
Locket,
could be
yeah,
a solid option, honestly. I would not be against that.
So I wouldn't be against it just because you do get a large shield, and that actually could be
Ooh.
great against the. Oh, nice stop. That could be a great option against the bump out of the Amandis, which is a lot of the threat that I can see against the Senna. Also, the Amandis blow flash in mid lane,
Yep.
so he's flashes right now.
I expect that to be just a dive target. Volibear has flash and ult to deny the tower damage, so, and as well as its
So far we're wrong, you know.
Yeah. We'll just be
This has
trading
been
farm.
one of those lowest games so far. Oh,
Yeah, and that's saying a lot for 8 kills at 9 minutes. That will blow Singular Bread's ult. So a trade of ultimates by the jungler. I believe Nunu's ult is a slightly shorter cooldown, but obviously it's a little bit less impactful.
well, if you don't use it correctly, I think that obviously you get less impact. But I feel like used accordingly, you actually can find so much value, especially if you use the vision control to your favor, right? Because if you play around vision, like some targets may just never skip that ultimate.
Yep, and in the bot lane, it is a
I'm not sure about this
slight...
from CG Batman.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
yeah, that's going to be a free Herald. Over the side of CBI.
Oh,
Ooh, actually almost stolen
Oh,
away.
he didn't smite it, I think.
Yeah, Kobita will pick that up. Batman in a little bit of danger. Will get taken down by Kobita in the top lane. Singular Bread getting the kill assist. Diamandis in a little bit of trouble. Gets canceled.
Oh,
Flash forward. Oh,
Oh!
Titan actually dies, but will the Ignite be enough? Sonic Shadow takes the kill from the bot lane.
so
CG
one,
Walker.
he saved us. Because they did get one kill into the 6, but that was so close to being so badly played out of Kaiden. I think he messed up one out attack actually on that engage, so he couldn't get the full damage out to let Ignite take the kill at the end. Still, great play out of, I mean in the Herald, not actually in the solo kill, but in the Herald, to secure the Herald, and not only secure the Herald, but also blow the flash out of CG Batman and even get his kill. All in all, great play up there, and Kobita collecting the Herald is quite nice, if I'm
Oh,
honest.
here comes
because I
Nunu
think
into
that-
the bot lane. The
Ooh.
Love Hitman is the target. We'll go unstoppable and just run it out of the gank. Wow. Okay, so the
Nobody stood in front of him. Really?
yeah. Support and AD both have flash. Obviously, I don't think No Name's gonna want to flash in front of it, but I think Induced maybe could have.
I feel like you as induced should just flashed in, right? Like you don't really
Oh,
worry about
here comes the
using
hyper
flash.
from Gnar.
Red
That's
buff.
the red buff as well. Fleet footwork doing the work. Boomerang will land
Oh,
and a
yeah.
solo bolo kill for Kobita in the top lane.
Every place he's losing a little bit. Every place, and that's not something you want out of out of CCG this game. Because we talked about this, late game is going to be much more beneficial for the side of CVI. And also to quickly talk about it, it was the Aegis, the Sunfire Aegis, so not a bad choice. I think that like thinking about it, you were right. I would have liked to see the locket just because of the shield value, but in reality, like you don't necessarily need it as the Scion, and the Senna can also kind of reposition by herself without worrying too much as well.
Titan
Oh,
will be
please.
looking for a kill onto Induced. Will miss the Chum the Waters. And Induced misses the hook on the wall, actually, so has to flash over that little river wall. That is a missing flash for this dragon spawning in 10 seconds.
But Fizz did use ultimate, which is a lot of his combo to try and get a kill.
That is true. Kobita will be moving down, so I expect it to be a Rift Herald mid. As a distraction, Jace is also down here, so 5 members from both teams around this dragon pit. Diamandis
He
actually
failed.
fails over the wall. No flash as well. Chitin, good stopwatch. We'll save him for a small second. Diamandis does trade
Oh, he got it.
kill. But Batman in the front line, Love Hitman will be
Hitman.
taking the Nunu ult.
I think he's actually fine though.
Has flash
If I'm
still.
honest.
Here comes Singular Bread into the back line with the roar. GG Batman will get taken out by Singular Bread. Knockup lands onto Induced from
Why
the
did
Love
he
Hitman.
hit that?
Flash forward by Singular Bread. MF. Here comes the bullet. Rain.
Oh,
And No Name will get taken down. The Love Hitman picking up the 3rd kill of the game. Absolutely nuts KDA this series.
yeah, the Love Hitman has been playing aggressive with the Scion, but really not getting punished. And that ultimate from Batman, I'm actually not against the ultimate in the position that it was, because it was trying to slow down Love Hitman for reaching the wall to try and flash away. But you were lacking damage. They were lacking a lot of damage to be able to take down the Love Hitman. And then the Misfortune ultimate does come through, but it was way too late. I think that the cooldown just came up just in time, but it was way too late at that point as well. So all in all, great fight by CB Visa. Yes, the Fizz was traded, but you get the kill out of the 6. And realistically, 6 is a lot of the things that you fear for that dragon fight, right? Because he's a lot of the poke, a lot of the potential burst damage, and a lot of the disruption for the Fizz and the Senna.
Yeah. And Ziggs will be getting a lot of value out of this Leandri's purchase. I mean,
Yep.
Scion, Volibear, and Gnar all going to have an extremely high amount of health. So we'll be pretty much on Ziggs to do any damage at all. MF with
Well,
Kraken,
Misfortune
I
did
don't...
up. Yeah.
I'm not a huge Kraken like fan on MF. I think it's just kind of worse. Okay, here comes the Chum the Waters onto Diamandis.
Oh, he got stopped.
And the Luden's proc will go off. Ignite goes off as well. Does he have the E? Looks like he's away for now, but Kavito will get hit by the greatest snowball ever. CG Batman will root him up as well. Potato Tomato 669
Oh,
should pick up the kill, but a shutdown actually goes over to Nunu, so I don't think that's the optimal target. Fizz did
It's
get
not
taken
the
down by
most ideal.
Nautilus.
Yeah, it's not the most ideal, but it's still a shutdown that you collect, and you also get the kill over the face in the mid lane. So all in all, not bad gold trades going in favor of the side of CGG. They are still behind, but you start with something, and that is a good start. Now, I do question the Nara a little bit because I don't understand why he was so far forward, and also I'm not liking the build that he's opting for right now. Not because it's a bad decision to have the Warden's Mail. Oh wait,
I think he's
Yeah,
dead,
he's dead.
but he will get the first tower. So hashtag worth in the chat.
is it though?
I honestly say it is, but
Like I think that dying at that spot with a turret that you could potentially get a little bit later, it's not a bad. But it is bounty plus first turret, so maybe it is actually worth it.
this MF absolutely doing 0 damage to this Scion, even with the Kraken Slayer. Here comes the depth charge onto Senna, but Scion just
re-engage.
charging into the front line. Here comes the heal. Actually,
she did get
gets
the heal.
taken down to the tower shot. Scion will have a good death though. Will sacrifice himself for the tower. So if that's not worth, I don't know what is.
Yeah, no, like even with dying, they still get the gold value on it. Similar to what we see out of the Jace, right? Oh, no name.
Okay, No Name is just absolutely deleted by Chitin on this Fizz. Kavita,
Kavita is
actually,
also
I think it's Batman that's a little bit too far. We're forced
Yeah.
to flash towards this tower. Tomato will be punishing them a little bit with the Eclipse, but I mean, Jace just not having the damage right now.
Yeah, like even with the Eclipse, which I think it's super important for him to be allowed to deal the damage. Like these two champions are actually really strong. They stacked quite a bit of armor when you think about it. Oh, Singular Bread.
Okay, here comes
Oh,
Singular
no,
Bread.
Batman.
Kavita will be the target here. We'll get out of the absolute
Oh,
zero.
the pop didn't go off.
Yep, and Kavita will get Mega as well. Slams him Gnar into the
Oh.
wall, and CBI starting to run away with this game.
Yeah, much like the previous games, maybe much like the first game. It started a little bit slower, but it's certainly snowballing way too out of control. And in that last kill, the pop from the Nunu ultimate didn't go through, so at the end it just turns into a kill that they couldn't get from Kobeta. And maybe in that 2v1 I can see them maybe opting into killing Singular Bread, although it would have been way too hard. But this is becoming way, way, way too difficult. Like we're seeing the Fizz already kind of finding the value to try and get the kills. He misses there.
Come the waters to clear the wave, of course, from Chitin. Not too
As
high
it
of a
should
cooldown,
be.
almost a quarter of the way up again.
Yeah, it's an assassin ultimate, so it's bound to be less than a minute or even less than 50 seconds in all honesty. But that is the threat that you get with the Fizz. Like every time you're in mid lane, you have no vision, or in the river and you have no vision. If you're Misfortune or 6, guess what can happen to you? Instant death. And that's not something that you want to fear consistently. Oh,
Big slam here from Hitman. CG Batman will smite away the blue buff. Sadly, Ziggs does not have the blue for this dragon, which could be a big deal, to be honest.
yeah, and the Hextech is actually a dragon that I like for the composition from CBI this game because getting that extra slow as well as just the attack to get off of multiple people, it's actually quite nice. I think that the best dragon they could have opted into was Soul, or the best Soul that they could have opted into was the Mountain Soul, I mean. But like the Hextech dragon is not actually a bad option for them as a Soul.
Yeah, I mean, extra slow on Senna Q, hitting the entire enemy team is a lot of value.
Allowing for the Fizz to get even a better kill opportunity.
Yeah. If that soul goes over, I'm gonna say this game's probably over. And I mean, even right now, I'm gonna say CBI probably wins this game. We have a win chance AI that tells you. It says
Oh, really?
blue team wins the game 94% of the chance time remaining.
Are we Dota Plus now? Wow.
Yes, we've had this for quite a while, thanks to our friends at Macro Hard, of course. 95% chance. Ziggs will not steal that dragon, so third dragon going over to CBI. So in another 5 minutes, that will be a team fight waiting to happen, unless CGG just thinks they can't fight it.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Landing. Okay, couple knocks out. Dawning Shadow over the top. Not a whole lot of damage onto either
He
side.
barely deal
Batman will
damage.
take most of their health, but Herald will come down to secure this outer tower. Hook goes over onto Kavita. I don't think that's who you want. Volibear deactivating the turret, jumping forward, and Deuce gets taken down. Gnar into the wall, onto
great
the
Gnar.
chase, but the MF ult just not doing enough damage here, not hitting any of the targets. Batman maybe get chased down. There is a cone here. Will they get onto the right side? But he doesn't even get to take it. And Tomato might get chased down by Kavita on this Gnar as well.
Yeah, actually, Wakam is playing there because he didn't commit for the kill. If he just follows up Kobita, they probably get the kill into the Jace. But it's not like it matters. Like, we saw that engage. They force the engage from Induce, and they barely deal any damage to any of the members from CBI. And yes, CBI had a difficult time also killing, but as long as they can survive for as long as they want, they will get the damage eventually. And I feel like without having the Love Hitman, which, funnily enough, opted into a whole breaker to get even more split pushing done, he is a lot of the damage as well. So if he's there, that fight is even worse for the side of CCG.
Yeah, and every time I look at this MF, I'm wishing it was a Leandries. It just do so much damage in this game with so many tanks. Kraken, I doubt has done over 500 damage this game. It is very sad for an MF, an early game pick as well. So
I'm trying to think, like, because we did this exercise in the previous games, what can they do to turn it around, right? And like the composition from CBI scales better and has a lot more gold at this point in the game. So like trying to think what can the side of CCG do is so hard. Like it has to be a 5-man MF ulti into a 5-man 6 ulti into a 5-man Nunu ultimate, and even then, I think they probably don't win the fight,
yeah, I
which is
don't
the
think
worst
Scion
part.
even dies to that, which is a little bit scary, and especially because Volibear is just
Yeah.
gonna be ulting over the top of that as well. Looks like it'll just be split push Scion. I mean, Ziggs has Leandries, but I mean, Hullbreaker is just so many free stats. Plus 600
Yeah.
into the pockets as well.
And I think for this game, you really like. I'd like to see the Fist be the one split pushing much more because I think that Sion, like we talked about this, the 4-man unit from Nar, Bolivar, and Sion Senna, it's much stronger. But it's not realistically that you need it to be there. Like you can have the other champions. Ouch.
All right, Potato Tomato is
Potato
getting
still dies, I
chased down
think.
by Gnar. Chitin in the front line. Flash Gnar into the wall. Very well played here from Kobita. We'll get the full combo out. Potato Tomato looks like they will fall. Eclipse Shield saves them for a little bit longer, but there goes the Q. And yeah, that will be the 6th death. Batman will get hit by the Chum in the Waters, and the Dawning Shadow over the top will be flashed away from. But I mean, that is 2 pretty big ults here missing for CB.
Yes, but they did get Batman's flash, so Batman cannot actually go to any place because he will immediately get popped. Now Kaiden,
Titan a little bit far forward, goes up onto the pole. Okay, Nunu not getting a whole lot of value there. Looks like Singular Bread will get taken down here by the Zig, so a little bit of a shutdown. I believe that was 500, if I was reading that right. It's a little bit of gold in the Zig's pocket. That is probably
Yeah,
where he
500.
wanted at this point. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
giving gold to the 6 is actually not bad, but like and Kaiden did get baited a little bit and ends up baiting the rest of CBI. It's not the most ideal situations because you didn't collect a huge amount of gold, but it's certainly going into the pockets of someone valuable like Diamandis.
Yeah, I mean, Zig's probably going to be the only one doing damage. I mean, it's going to be LDR second MF, which is realistically, it's a good item, but I think they're a little bit too far behind already to really do anything.
Yeah, like having a 10k gold deficit at 23 against a better scaling composition, it's probably not the play, if I'm honest.
Yeah, you see how little damage Scion does not care about really anybody. He's going Tiamat as well, so it is like more damage. Induce will get jumped on by Kubita, but
Sion is
Who's about
behind
to
them.
reveal?
I'm not sure about this, if I'm honest.
yeah, this could be the game deciding team fight as well if CGG wants to take it. It is the Soul or CVI on the line here. I think they have to force this or they just lose. I don't know if
They have
funneling
to
through
play
one little
Ibisa.
choke is the
Oh.
way. Beat it into the backline, gets the Mega Gnar slam
Bad one is dead.
onto Potato Tomato.
Yep.
Nunu is down, no smite available. Chase gets taken down as well. And the
Look
root.
at Sion.
Sion solo bolo. Is that the boss? FS? Solo killing MF pretty much. Chitin looking for the kill, and that is also Soul for the side of CBI. So everything, 12k gold lead at 25 minutes.
Yeah, like this level of domination once again taking it a step farther than in the previous game. I don't think they need the Baron buff in all honesty. Like they can just push
Oh
and get a
my
lot done.
goodness.
But that is kind of the smarter play. Oh,
That's a lot of demolish damage, and they are going Baron just to absolutely secure this win. I mean, flash forward by Sion.
he really wants the kill onto the
yeah.
Amandes.
Sadly, this isn't Prowler's Claw Sion, so I don't think they're really going to get anything. They will get the tower, but 5 members inning them, and it's still barely even enough.
Can he get the hip? He can't. So it's Sion for the Baron buff. But he did give a shutdown if I'm not wrong, so... Oh, it's just 300 gold. I thought it was more.
Yeah, Sion, 4-1-3 at the time. I mean, it's not the grand prize of, like, Fizz.
Yep.
I think we ought to do a Senna Soul full check. 91. Not bad.
At 26. That's actually good, but also I think she could have done a little bit better if she had gone more into the jungle.
They are scouting out the Hextech Soul slow. That is very crippling for the Nunu.
Can we actually do just a level diff for each position? Because
Yes,
once
yes,
again,
yes,
top
yes.
has 2 levels. Jungle has 3. Mid lane is equal, luckily, but AD carry has 3 as well, and support has 1 as well. Like, this is not something that you typically see. So much level differences in each position, especially in AD carry.
Yeah, I mean, even the support Senna is higher. Here comes the engage from
Oh.
Induced. Some of the waters will be thrown out. DB Waka taking down fairly low, actually.
Waka
Batman
is
running
low.
forward. Big
Oh,
slow.
it's fine.
That huge Dawning Shadow.
Oh.
MF all being layered over. No Name will get absolutely one-shot by the Electrocute of Chitin. Induced will be taken down as well. Here comes the Gnar onto Diamandis.
That was
And I
a
think
5v3.
this is the series.
Yeah.
The ace for CB Ibiza.
And the ticket to Academy Worlds as well.
Yep, Amateur Worlds. Welcome, CBI.
Academy, yeah, Amateur Worlds. You're right. Sorry.
3-0 sweeping Clown Gaming Gotham. Congratulations to them. A very convincing 27-minute victory. We are looking forward to seeing you at Worlds, and these are your sophomore class champions.
You couldn't have asked for a better representative for Runeterra Academy, even in all honesty. Like, they are actually they took this series in one of the most dominant fashions I think I've seen, and I've seen Senior from
Yes.
Mean Gaming.
Yes.
I've seen Senior in 7 when they were the most dominant team, and even then, there was 1 or 2 games that they had to fight hard. Like, this series was so dominating by CVI that I can legitimately say that this was probably the most dominated series I've seen yet in Runeterra.
Yeah, I would have to agree after producing so many games for RA. I mean, yeah, that is a absolutely astronomical gold lead. All of you.
Yeah. Like, congrats to CVI. I was on the boat from CG. I thought that they were maybe able to pull it off, but CVI just had that itch, and certainly showcasing that they are champions as well previously. That they have been champions, really performing like you expect from a team in the finals, and really delivering at the end. Congratulations to them. Who deserve?
I know
Are we
a lot
getting
of,
an interview?
Yes, we will be interviewing the whole team after a short break. Have to drag them into the call, which takes a little bit of time using Discord, but yeah, we will be back in about 7 minutes, and also after that, we will be doing the 1960 RP raffle. So make sure you get your tickets and entries into that. Yeah, we will be right back after a short break. Do that.
Fellow armsmen, I ask you, will you follow me tonight to break their spine and reclaim what once was mine? Those cravens backstabbed me, deceived me. Never shall I tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin. Oh, 7,000 souls scared and daunted, such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village was a golden scene of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our Gloria to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer. Fellow warriors, I ask you, should my campaign come to an end, there's way more to avenge. Oh, 15 million souls living in this realm without much hope. Not too long ago, this kingdom was a golden state of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our Gloria to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer.
Introducing your sophomore champions for semester 3, CB Ibiza. In the call, we have CB Waka, Singular Bread, and the Love Hitman. I'm PVS, joined by TDS. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Well, wow, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Feels
The
good.
last- The last official Riot champions of Sophomore. Official, because
Oh, boy,
Riot is
yeah.
disappearing.
Combining with Aegis.
Yeah, well, we didn't like Red anyway, so I think it's for the better. But
And no one likes Red. It's understandable.
exactly. But to start off, congratulations, obviously, on winning. And I want to start with big. We did talk a little bit about this, but I want to start with the fact that going into finals, coming off the reverse sweep that happened last week, which I was present for, and I didn't believe in it that either. So coming from that, were you nervous or not? Because I can understand like the fact that sometimes it can affect your mental and you're not really sure what can happen, especially in a finals where it's all or nothing and you can end up losing. So I'm kind of interested in knowing how were you going into this final?
Um, I'll at least answer for myself. I've played against CGG and Aegis as well a couple times already. I knew they were a really good team, and this was the matchup I was most worried about out of the entire playoffs, essentially. But I don't know what changed. They had the sub in game one,
Yeah,
but game two they brought back their full roster. But we were just all on such the same page with just draft, with how we were playing. Like everyone was just playing out of their minds. It just felt honestly better than it has the entire season tonight. I don't know what changed, but it just felt natural.
Yeah, there were the finals nerves were there definitely for sure, for me at least, because there's, the old CB joke of, Waka's the weakest link, Waka's not playing good, stuff like that. It's, a lot of it's a meme. I feel like I play well most of the time, but that's a
yeah,
general meme and joke. And especially with the whole, there's a CB gold curse where the gold teams have never won anything, and it feels good to finally break that, to finally have a chip and win a chip.
yeah. Now that you say it, I think I've actually been part of watching CV fail a couple of times, if I'm honest.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
wow.
I think I've
It's
actually been a part
Don't
of
worry,
that. So
we're winning a couple more
hey,
chips in these leagues for
yeah, I'm
sure.
actually glad you're one of the teams that I've seen won from CB because if not, I would have been the cursed. I wouldn't be a fan of that. But hey, I'm glad that you guys were able to pull it off, and in such a dominant fashion. Like I did tell you guys this. I was on the side that I thought CGG could pull off the win. Like I think they are a good team, but after first game, I think that was shut down pretty quickly. And seeing the domination was not. I think I wouldn't call it safer work. Certainly, like it never felt like that in the 3 games, and particularly more so because you touch on this how you guys prepared the draft for each game, because I think that in each of the games, like the plan, the idea, and the way that you perform felt more cohesive. And I kind of wanted to talk about this because I'm not sure how the thought process went into that, but was it for more into comfortability or into easy to execute kind of thing?
um, it's a combination of both for sure. It's I'll be honest, I didn't prepare too much today. I've been pretty distracted by somebody, so
Oh, by
it's
somebody.
yeah, so I've been like partly taken back, but I already had some prep to CGG with their other stuff, so I just kind of
Okay.
fell back on that. I knew keeping off potato off a couple of champs and just basically picking stuff that scales well, that we're pretty comfortable with, and it kind of works together. That was like kind of the main priorities with drafting. And we just get these big death ball style comps, and they're very
Yeah.
easy to execute. They scale well if we get behind early, and we can always get through the early game. And it's just kind of hard to mess up. And I
Yeah,
think you guys
feels
saw that tonight.
to me it feels really nice because even like since the beginning of the season, some of our early games have just been atrocious. Like I feel like we've been some of the worst early game team like in the entire league. Like I feel
What
like
the? Yeah.
we've been pretty bad at early game. Like we've been down, I feel like 2 to 3K gold sometimes early game, and then our team just scales better, and then we just play better as people. We're just better players more than just
Yeah.
our champions, and then we just are able to come back and win it. But it does. It feels great.
Yeah, and the early game is a true part. I do remember last week, so I certainly was press. I did see how it happened, but what matters is being able to evolve that into finally being able to win the grand finals. And it was like you're saying the fact that you finally broke one potential curse or a potential curse and taking the win here. It must feel quite great, and I'm quite interested in knowing how you guys will not prepare necessarily, but affront the coming of the amateur worlds, the tournament that it's supposed to start soon, and that it's supposed to be one of the prizes from winning here. So I'm kind of interested in how you will affront that, or how do you feel about going into that tournament?
Well, I mean, at least personally, I think our team is very solid. And I am really curious on how it'll go. Because I'm on an Oasis team as well, or
Yep.
in Aegis, and if we manage to win as well, then it's like it'll be there's the BOL teams. We have players that are on several different rosters, and if multiple of these teams win, we'd have to figure out what rosters we're going with for every single league. If there's some leagues that we might not even be able to participate in, I don't know. It's going to be something that we're going to have to figure out as the other seasons conclude. But I
True.
will say, I think this roster that we have right now is capable of beating any team that's going to be in that tournament.
Okay, that's the kind of confidence I'd like to hear, and I would hope to see the actual roster playing, not it being broken up into multiple rosters
Yeah,
just
of
because of
course.
winning somewhere. So I would be excited about that. And now for a final kind of thoughts, especially because I don't want to hold you guys longer than this. You guys would be most want to celebrate or something like that. So as a final thoughts, any shoutouts, anything you want to say to anyone, anything you want to say to the people that are watching, to any member of your team or any member of the rest of the leagues, to anyone, anything, it's viable tonight. So just say anything you want to say. PG, please.
Start
Uh,
walking.
I guess I'll start. You know, shout out to the CB org for believing in us. You know, shout out to Excel, shout out to Barack, shout out to even like No Name. He's a big part of the CB. You know, it's like good to beat him, but someone from CB was gonna win tonight, whether it was us or No Name. You know, shout out to all the moderator staff over at CB. Love all them. You know, shout out to Minute. You know, praise the church that started it all and got us going and got us rolling. And I think that's about it.
Any other?
Do you want to say anything singular?
Maybe just Chitin for bringing me on as a sub. I but didn't plan on playing too many games, but I had fun throughout playoffs, taking over, trying not to int too hard.
Oh,
And
Had to make
champion.
up for the games today, or had to make up for all my inting last week by only dying once today.
Yeah.
True.
And I guess, just my teammates, everyone just played super well tonight. And
good job, Andy, on
Yeah. Andy.
holding it down for the 30 ganks that he had top in that last game.
Yeah.
Also, another big shout out to my boy young Ixie, holding it down back there too in CB. But yeah, everyone played great. I'm so proud of everybody.
And
True.
I'll give a shout out to Nevada. No one else will know, but okay,
Right.
that is all.
Yep.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
that's an interesting kind of thing. So I agree with anything that happens. Anyway, with that, this is going to be the closing moments for the last I don't know why I'm blanking now. Sophomore Runeterra Academy season. You guys are the last champions, so you should be glad that you were able to take it at the end, breaking the curse and making everything happen. You guys deserved it, so congratulations to that. And to every team that participated, everyone that was a part of the Runeterra Sophomore League, everyone that saw that saw the streams from Runeterra, that saw the start to the end. Thank you for joining us for this journey. It was my first Sophomore season. It was fun. I really like the comparisons that I could make between sophomore and senior, and I actually find quite a bit of good things to see. So all in all, I was glad that I was able to join this journey. Thank you for accompanying me in this, for accompanying us, and hopefully join us in now the Aegis League. Yeah, PBS Aegis, right?
Yes. Aegis.
Correct. In Aegis, next split, next tournament.
Also,
next turn. Okay.
I also have to shout out Pop Tart for putting up all of our amazing banners and all of our logos. Everything Pop Tart does. Pop Tart's the best. Pop Tart's the best person at CB.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
I'm done.
You got paid to say that.
I do agree. I do agree. She's also our producer in BOL, so great person. And
Goodbye
with that,
forever, RA.
God. All right, well, that's gonna do it for us here at Runeterra Academy sophomore class for the final time. We will. Well, I'm doing the draw, so I'll leave the call for that. Unless you want to be part of it, TDS.
I want to.
Okay. We will draw it right now, live. What was that? 146 entries. All right. Well, let's see who wins this draw. All right, here we go. Kodiak Bear. Wow, that was the last second entries too. Congrats. Add here. I'll take in chat. There you go. Yeah, it is rigged acid. Well,
Rigged.
Yeah, it's always rigged.
It's very rigged.
It's always rigged. All right, well, that's it for us here at Runeterra Academy. We will see you Monday night for our final stream of League of Legends Junior class. OMT Chronos returning two-time champions versus No Org Frost. I am PBS, joined tonight by TDS. See you Monday.